Badger Max Thursday Night Lights presented by Northwest Surgery Center on My 24 is brought to you by Badger Max Premium Sports Drinks. Drink it to the max. Northwest Surgery Center. Menards. And by Wisconsin Lutheran College. Additional support has been provided by the U.S. Army, Goodwill, Salvation Army, and Sports Radio 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Welcome to the Badger Max Thursday Night Lights High School Football Game of the Week, presented by Northwest Surgery Center. We're live at Oconomowoc High School as the Coonies take on the Vikings in a Wisconsin Little 10 showdown. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike McGivern. I'm with Sports Radio 105.7 FM, The Fan, and this is the Fan pregame show. I'm joined by the two head coaches tonight's game, Ryan McMillan with Oconomowoc, Joel Redouf with Wisconsin Lutheran. Coach, let's start with you if we can. So far, so good, right? Undefeated in non-conference, undefeated in conference play. You've made some games fairly exciting, but feeling pretty good about this group?
Yeah, these guys keep playing every night, and they come and fight, and we've had a lot of close games, and we found a way to win, and anytime you find a way to win, we'll take it however you get it.
Coach, 4-1 in conference, two really good quality wins the last couple of weeks. How you feeling about this year's group?
Well, the kids have worked extremely hard to get where they're at. We first had to learn how to practice the right way and learn how to win and respect the game the right way, and that they've done, and we've been on a pretty good roll since.
Coach, I'm going to stay with you, and media guys like me get to ask really ridiculous questions, so I'm going to do that. Last year, the Wisconsin Little 10, I think that looking at your schedule for next week and Oconomowoc's schedule for next week, this game is really going to go a long way of saying if there's one team that wins the conference or if there's a share. Do you talk to your kids about that? Do you as a coaching staff talk to them, or is it just something they know?
They know the importance of this game, and we don't really have to say anything. It's another game on our schedule, and it's always against Cooney, who's a great opponent.
Yeah, you bet. Same question for you, Coach. You guys talk about stuff like that?
I don't know that we really talk about it, but the kids are always in tune to it, and people want to tell us that we'll share it or there'll be an outright one, and the winner takes all here tonight, barring we take care of our business next week. But for both teams, so it's kind of it's a good deal. It's a de facto conference championship game.
So, Coach, you guys, next year go to a whole different conference, and I like to say, and I think people agree, the best conference in the state of Wisconsin. Have you thought about that at all, or is that something you'll worry about when it gets here?
We'll cross that bridge when it gets here. We know we got a lot of respect for those teams over in that conference. We got a lot of respect for every team we faced in the Little 10 this year, and any opponent we really have. So, I mean, it's no different from how we're going to approach it, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Coach, same question. You guys go to the Woodland. I know that you have so much love and respect for this conference. Not real happy to see it go away, from what I understand. How you feeling about that?
I think it'll be good for us. The demographics of the schools that we play will be the same as ours, and it'll be all right. We'll adjust. Yeah,
it's a good conference. There's some teams that I think you guys have built a nice rivalry with in this conference that you're going to go away, and that opening game against Marquette, which has been historic for you guys, is going to go away as well. That's something that's going to be a little rough, I would think.
Yeah, we're disappointed in that, and then we just found out we have a second crossover game, and so we had two pretty good non-conference games scheduled for next year, and we had to adjust that already.
Yeah, you bet. Hey, last quick question. Health-wise, you guys are okay?
We'll be okay tonight.
You guys all right?
Yep.
Excellent. Guys, I'm going to cut you loose. I appreciate your time. Thanks for having us out here tonight.
Thank
On
you.
the other side of the break, Terry Kelly, John Weiser will get you the keys of the game. This is the Badger Max Thursday Night Lights High School Football Game of the Week, only on My 24.
Welcome back to beautiful Ed Ruck Stadium on the campus of Oconomowoc High School. Tonight's Badger Max Thursday Night Lights in Oconomowoc, a Wisconsin Little 10 matchup between the Oconomowoc Raccoons and the Wisconsin Lutheran Vikings. With Terry Kelly, John Weiser back with you, and we were at practice this week for both these teams, and we walked away thinking, this is a pretty intriguing matchup tonight.
Some people thought just because Oconomowoc was undefeated that this wouldn't be the close game that we're expecting.
Should be an interesting matchup. Two teams, obviously opposite styles here tonight.
We're going to see Oconomowoc throw the ball over the park. Wisco wants to run the ball using the option as their key.
And a team in Oconomowoc that does not get intimidated when they're down.
Trailed by double digits 5 times this year. Came back to win all those games.
Let's talk about some of the players we're going to keep an eye on here tonight. First, for Wisconsin Lutheran, if you're going to run the option, you better have a good quarterback-running back combination.
And they've got that. Zach Bloomquist at quarterback, Brian Corbin's at running back. Combined for almost 1,800 yards between the two of them.
On defense, you look at two outside linebackers. They're going to be very busy tonight in coverage.
And they're their leading tacklers, Ebenezer Ickerman and Christopher Garrett. They've amounted to about 30, 35 tackles apiece over the course of the season.
Ben Nienhuis and Zach Clayton, perhaps the best passing and catching tandem in the state of Wisconsin.
Well, you look, he's got 3 times as many receptions as any other receiver on the field, and Nienhuis for 3 years now has been throwing the ball around the park.
And defensively for the Raccoons, Jeff Rowan and Taishi Ikeda, the defensive back.
Well, Jeff Rowan has looked as the quarterback of the defense. Taishi is an all-region returning player in that defensive backfield.
Leads us now to our Badger Max keys to the ball game tonight, Terry. How do we have it drawn up?
Well, for Wisconsin Lutheran, they've got to, first of all, they got to put pressure on the quarterback. Can't let Nienhuis stand there. You've got to also make sure that you vary your coverages on Zach Clayton. And maybe the most important factor, you've got to keep the ball, your offense, on the field marching so they don't get their offense to throw the ball.
For the undefeated Oconomowoc team?
Well, Oconomowoc wants to make sure their assignment sound. If you want to stop the option, people have to go where they belong, not where they think. Second thing that they got to do, their kicking game has to be sound. Coach wanted to make sure that was an emphasis. And then finally, they've got to find some ways, Oconomowoc, to take advantage of Wisco's aggressiveness.
Should be a great matchup tonight. The final meeting, as far as the near future is concerned, between these two teams because of conference realignment. Oconomowoc, Wisconsin Lutheran. We'll have it for you next on My 24. Ruck Stadium in Oconomowoc tonight. The undefeated Raccoons taking on Wisconsin Lutheran Vikings. The final matchup between these two teams in the Wisconsin Little 10. The conference title on the line here tonight. We're just about set for our game here tonight. We have the color guard on the field, our United States Army color guard at the center of the field, along with the American Legion Edwin L. Jones, post number 91 out of Oconomowoc. Bill Winkles, commander, post 91, a U.S. Navy veteran. And we thank them for their service as we get set for our national anthem tonight, which will be sung by Brenna Delaney and Riley Kenyon. Brenna and Riley are both Oconomowoc High School juniors and members of Concert Choir and Gold Vibrations, 2 auditioned choirs here at Oconomowoc High School. Brenna is presently in a supporting role in Oconomowoc High School's production of Billy Elliot, opening on November 12th here at the Oconomowoc Arts Center on the high school campus. Brenna is a member of Tri-M and International Thespian Society, and Riley is an active member in the Oconomowoc High School Adventure Club. Oconomowoc students Brenna Delaney and Riley Kenyon with our national anthem tonight here at Ruck's Stadium. Light showers have passed through about an hour before kickoff tonight. We had a little shower pass through here. It's going to be a humid evening. Temperatures in the 60s, falling off from there. And we expect some rain. Hopefully it'll stay away, but they're telling us later on this evening. So I don't think the heavy stuff's coming for quite a while, to quote a movie.
To quote a very famous movie. Well, a critical game for both teams. Not only does Wisconsin Lutheran have a chance to grab a share of the title, but for both of these teams, they need a win to assure an even better seeding as they head into the playoffs.
Yeah, this all has the playoff implications on it as well. As you get a look at our U.S. Marine game ball presentation tonight, Sergeant Michael Vorpal, recruiter here in Watertown, will do the honors tonight. And he will be presenting our game ball to our officials, headed up by Jack Fleming in the white hat. We've had Jack, I think, once or twice already this year. We had him a couple times last year. This is probably one of the better crews in southeast Wisconsin to officiate football. So Sergeant Michael Vorpal getting the formalities here, presenting our game ball tonight. Wisconsin Lutheran will receive the opening kickoff tonight. And prior to tonight's game, Andrew Burns, you see in the background there, from Badger Max Premium Sports Drinks, along with Jack Fleming and our officiating crew, took part in the pregame coin toss tonight.
This is a hit. This is a hit. You've won the toss.
Oconomowoc winning the toss. They have deferred to the second half. Oconomowoc in the gray with the gold pants, Wisconsin Lutheran in the white.
You want the football. Which way do you want it?
And the kick will go through the end zone on one hop. And the touchback will get things started here tonight as we look at the offense for Wisconsin Lutheran tonight. It all starts at the quarterback. Coach Radu very much talked about the intelligence of his quarterback and how he has about 95% of the read in Zach Bloomquist.
Right, and for years, Wisconsin Lutheran has been running different versions of the option. Used to be just a split back veer. Now they're going to run it out of the shotgun. So many, many wrinkles. It's not your grandma's option offense anymore.
Split back veer to start things here. It's going to be the quarterback, Bloomquist, around the far side across the 30 out to the 34-yard line. A 14-yard pickup. He had the read there and pulled it back out of the belly of Corbin's that time and was able to take that around the far side as we set the defense for you for the Raccoons tonight.
Yeah, one of the things with the Raccoon defense, we could be seeing a number of, it's not going to necessarily be a 3-4, it could be a 4-man front, various little intricacies they're going to try to stop the passing attack.
So our first down tonight brought to you by Wisconsin Lutheran College. Now we've got movement before the snap. A false start here against the Vikings. In this season, first down sponsored by Wisconsin Lutheran College.
Start. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Located in Milwaukee, a comprehensive Christian college offering 37 undergraduate majors, an accelerated degree completion program for adult learners, and graduate degree options. Learn more at WLC.edu. First and 15 for the Vikings, and this is something they can't afford to do, and that's get behind the chains tonight.
Right, a good option offense is you're perfectly content with getting 4 yards of crack.
They'll throw it, and it's dropped. The receiver was there, intended for Lucas Recker, the running back in the backfield there. That pass thrown low, but it was there. The receiver should have picked that one up.
When we were at practice earlier in the week, they were working on quick hitting passes to the outside, trying to do something to throw the Oconomowoc defense off a little bit, just to make them not just eat into the box to stop the option.
Second and 15 from their own 29 as you get a look at Bloomquist, the quarterback. And we'll hand it off. This is Corbin's. Corbin's not much there. He was driven back. Zach Schoeneman, the outside linebacker, there to make the stop. Getting some help there.
Corbin's is an athlete with tremendous speed. He was timed at the combine this summer at 4.4. Obviously, the Raccoons want to keep him bottled up.
Pick up a 4 on the play, but sets up 3rd and 11 here for the Vikings. Their opening possession here in Oconomowoc tonight. Glad you're with us on My 24. Let's try and swing it out to Corbins. Makes the catch across the 30. Keeps his balance, but then is swarmed under at the 31-yard line. He'll lose 2. Good job by the Cooney defense that time to get out there, string that one along, and sets up a 2-yard loss here.
Yeah, option teams hate finding themselves in 3rd and long. They got that initial first down, then the penalty really threw them out of rhythm.
This is Mike Radu, the punter. Averages almost 40 yards per kick. Get this one away. Nobody back here for Oconomowoc, as this one will bounce at the 35, take a Oconomowoc roll to the 41-yard line. So good field position here for the Raccoons. Their first possession, just over 9.5 minutes to go here in our first quarter.
That's going to be interesting to see what Wisconsin Lutheran comes out in terms of the defense. It's going to be a 3-4, try to let those outside backers really kind of crash on the option, or are they going to play a 4-man front, try to get some blocking against the tight end Oconomowoc would like to have set up their attack.
Senior Ben Nineheis is the quarterback. First team all-conference, was an all-state selection a year ago. They'll work in under center. 3 receivers here to the near side on first down. Now we'll empty the backfield. It'll be the quarterback. Nineheis will keep it himself across the 45 to the 46-yard line, a gain of 4.
And sure enough, that time saw Wisconsin Lutheran come out in a 4 front, 4-2-5. They got 5 defensive backs in there trying to neutralize that Oconomowoc passing game.
Thrown for over 1,900 yards this year, over 5,000 yards in his career.
He can really throw the ball well.
Gurley split out to the far side. Clayton here to the near side. 2nd and 6 from the 46. Nice, his first pass coming back this way, deflected, but picked up out of the backfield, coming around the near side with his Rams. Rams able to get it. Looked like it was Fitzgerald who got the tip, but it deflected right to Rams, who took it down short of the 50-yard line.
Yeah, German Fitzgerald, 6'3", so he's got the height, and one of those rules, if you can't get to the quarterback, get your hand up in the air. Actually, it wasn't 71. It was 17, 77 was it? No, I don't think it was 17. Ebenezer Ickeman, they moved up on to the line that time.
Big 3rd down here, 3rd and 3 from their own 49. They'll work out of the I formation this time. And they'll toss it back. Rams coming around the near side will get the first down into Viking territory inside the Wisconsin Lutheran 45-yard line. Jake Rams the first down.
Yeah, Jake was an excellent runner for him last year. He was 2nd team all-conference. He's battling a little bit of a knee injury, fighting his way through it. Didn't play much last week. He's here for this game because very, very important.
Chris Garrett there to make the stop. Another Wisconsin Lutheran College sponsored first down. Again from the I formation. Clayton in motion to the far side. Nineheis on the roll, being chased. Now delivers deep downfield, leaping attempt, and did he come down with it? Yes, he did, inside the 14-yard line. That's Christian Gurley, their other outstanding receiver, 5'7", 160-pound junior, with the catch inside the 15-yard line.
Yeah, he's got 19 catches on the year, 4 touchdowns. So, you know, we keep talking about Zach Clayton, and obviously he is that good. But they have some other receivers that are threats as well, and Gurley is one of them.
A timeout taken here. Wisconsin Lutheran. So early timeout taken here by the Vikings. Good pressure that time by Fitzgerald to flush Nineheis on the run to the right, and then a heck of a grab by Gurley in front of Cedric Carr, who finally brought him down.
Well, Coach McMillan said this was going to be the most athletic team that Oconomowoc had played this year. And I think we've seen already a couple of the players for Wisconsin Lutheran have really demonstrated how athletic they are.
It's 29-yard pickup, so it'll be 1st and 10 at the 15 when play resumes. But first, let's head down to the sideline. Our first visit tonight with Kara.
Thank you so much, guys. I've got Lucas Voss, Executive Director of Enrollment with Wisconsin Lutheran College, down here with me. Can you tell us a little bit about WLC?
Well, we're located in Milwaukee and Wauwatosa, right on the border. We've got 38 great undergraduate degrees, degree completion, and graduate degrees as well.
And what sets you apart from other colleges in the area?
Well, what sets us apart is our graduates. They're out there. They're uniquely prepared to do incredible things out there. They're serving our community in a great way, and they're also powerfully impacting the world as incredible servant leaders.
And where can folks get more info?
Come and visit us, or visit us online at wlc.edu.
Thank you so much, Lucas, for joining us down here, and back to you guys.
Kara, thank you very much. They'll hand it off. Rams coming around the near side, has some running room. Rams inside the 10. Rams to the pylon. And he did not get in.
And that play is going to come back anyway. There was a block in the back that was very clear. Referee threw that flag immediately.
So Jake Graham's 5'8", 175. Got the game-winning touchdown against Beaver Dam in overtime a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and we talked about the fact that he's battling this knee injury.
During the run, block in the back, number 2, 10-yard penalty. It'll be first down.
Gourlay, the split end here on the near side, the guilty party with the block in the back. As we head down to the sideline in our first visit tonight with Mike McGivern.
You know, guys, when I did the pre-game interview with Coach Udu from Wisconsin Lutheran, my fear was he's real quiet, didn't say much. Not like that on the sidelines. He got that call, the block in the back, by talking to the official 2 plays ago. He said, look, you missed that block, don't do that again. Threw his hat, he got after a little bit. I think I like this guy.
Stepped off from the spot of the foul, moves it to the 18-yard line. Very nice, fakes the pitch, rolls right. With time, a receiver in the back of the end zone, caught by Clayton. Touchdown, Oconomowoc. Zach Clayton, his 12th touchdown reception of the year, and the Raccoons on the board.
A lot of people would say, who else did you expect to get it? He had 66 catches on the year coming into the game. Little boot action.
Got past Brian Corbin's, one of the two-way players, along with Armani Buckley, the corner over there. But a nice rollout, controlled rollout by Nineheist. You could see how he got his shoulders square into that football and put it right where Clayton could make the catch for the touchdown. Extra point is on the way, and it is good. 7-0 Oconomowoc. A 5-play drive here. Took a little over 2 minutes to get it done.
Well, Ben Nineheist came, into prominence as a sophomore, had a play at the end of the year, and that was one of those years when all of a sudden everything went wrong. They were 1-8 on the year. Next year they came back, won the conference. He had an unbelievable year. He's picked up from where he left off last year, and so Coach McMillan couldn't say enough about how Nineheist prepared and improved from sophomore to junior to senior year.
And a reminder, Badger Max Thursday Night Lights is available streaming live online. Log on to my24milwaukee.com and click on the Thursday Night Lights link. Find game videos and photos from this season's games. Mothers out there, do you recognize any of your sons?
I was waiting to see if Big Mike got himself into the stands and put anything, but we'll have to wait till later in the game.
Another high kick that will drift into the end zone, and an automatic touchback in high school. Can't run it out, so second straight touchback here on the kickoff. Force Wisconsin Lutheran to start deeper in their own end.
One of the things Coach McMillan talked about, he wanted a sound kicking game, and we've seen Carson Roslip bury 2 of his kickoffs.
Vikings will take over on the 20. 5 plays, 58 yards, capped off by the 19-yard Clayton reception. For Clayton, that is his 12th touchdown reception of the year. And for Ben Nineheist, that's his 21st touchdown. Only 1 interception on the season. The pitch coming around the near side, and a beauty coming up the near side, O.J. James. James caught from behind across the 40-yard line. Nice strong run by O.J. James, 5'9", 150, the senior. Only 65 rushes this year. But again, you take a look at that. Our first down sponsored by Wisconsin Lutheran College. We get one more look.
One of the things people always talked about is Oconomowoc likes to hit the dive, and they like to have the quarterback keep it, and they rarely pitch. Well, they crossed him up that time and got that pitch out to James.
Jeff Rowan tracked him down. 22-yard pickup, 1st and 10. Corbin's trying to go up the middle, struggles to get to the 45. Ball is out. Ball is out. And they're going to rule him down, I believe. The umpire coming in there, ruling the player down. No fumble on the play.
I think you mentioned earlier, John, that Zach Bloomquist reads about 95% of the time. And one of the things you have to watch when the ball's a little damp, can you pull that out? How do you continue running that option?
Bloomquist, the senior, the captain of this football team. Again, he'll give it. James again, his second carry, O.J. James. Take one more look. Stacked up almost immediately in that line.
Number 99,
Davies was there. Actually, Adam Brockway finally got him to the turf. Sets up a 3rd and 6 from their own 46. Four wides, 2 by 2 here. Fakes the handoff. The lefty going to throw it out wide. It's intercepted. Had the player out there, and an excellent break on the football for the interception. As pulling that one down, Taishi Akeda. Akeda, the 5'10 senior, we talked about him in the pregame, comes up with a big play, stepping in front of the intended target, Mike Radu.
Yeah, all conference and all region last year.
One more look at the interception as we head to break. 5:45 to go here in the first. A 7-0 Oconomowoc lead. Ikeda's interception sets up the Raccoons, their second drive tonight, starting from their own 39-yard line. They lead it 7-0. Tim Allen plays a family man who tries to maintain his masculinity in a house full of women. It's Last Man Standing, weeknights at 6 and 6:30 on My 24. Clayton in motion to the far side on first down for the Raccoons. And they'll toss it back. Jake Rams taking that with the carry. Out to about the 45-yard line, gain of about 6 on that toss sweep to the right side.
Yeah, both teams being a little out of character. Oconomowoc maybe running that ball a little bit more than we anticipated. Wisconsin Lutheran trying to pass.
Let's head to the sideline and Mike McGivern.
Hey, boys, the Oconomowoc sideline's really happy with their defense right now. Keep saying, look, we talked about stopping them on 1st and 2nd down, making them put the ball up in the air. If we do that, we're going to have a great night. Really happy with their defense right now.
Rams up the middle will get the first down to midfield. Gain of about 5 on the play. So a little more ground action here for Oconomowoc early. I wonder if weather dictating that with the wet field and humidity and the dampness in the air here.
I think also Coach McMillan, instead of being behind at the end of the first or second quarter, is coming out, we're going to go out and be aggressive and attack. And right now that offensive line is getting an excellent surge.
Yeah, they were behind double digits in 5 of their first 7 games this year. So 1st and 10 at midfield for Oconomowoc. Clayton comes in motion to the near side. They'll toss it to Rams. Rams trying to get the edge here. Penalty marker down, and this will be another block in the back, I believe, on Clayton this time as he was in motion, then curled back, tried to take the linebacker out to set the edge for Rams.
Yeah, Mike talked about the fact that Coach Radu said something, and he wasn't so much talking the official in. It's obvious that they're getting those blocks in the back, and so, okay, now what's going to happen? What kind of adjustments?
Jack Fleming sorting this one out.
Holding during the run, number 6. That's the spot right there. It'll be 10 yards from there. Repeat the down. During the run, holding, number 6. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
Yep, Clayton the guilty party.
Typically in high school, they don't give the number over the loudspeaker, but you're getting attention here whether you want it or not.
Again, from the spot of the foul, they'll walk it back to the 37-yard line, making a 1st and 23 as Nine Heist will work from the gun. 5 receivers going out here. Going to come back far side. High grab there by Ryan Hayes. Hayes out across the 45 and out of bounds near midfield. Ryan Hayes, his first catch tonight. 15th catch of the season for the 6-foot junior. It's again Corbins and Carr busy in the secondary, making the stop.
Yeah, Kenton Fabian just didn't quite get there quickly enough on that past sideline.
Gain of 13, 2nd down and 10. They'll hand it off. Rams trying to work his way up the middle across midfield down to the Viking 47-yard line. And Rams, 403 yards, 7 touchdowns on the year for Rams. A 1,000-yard rusher a season ago, and second team All-Wisconsin Little 10.
Yeah, he's missed 2 games this year due to injuries, so those numbers aren't quite where you might expect him to be.
So 3rd and 6 from the 46. Hayes and Clayton split here to the near side, working I formation in the backfield. Now we got stoppage of play here, some confusion out of that huddle, and so right away Ryan McMillan going to take the time. So timeout Oconomowoc, 3 minutes to go here in this first quarter, leading 7-0.
Well, I'm sure offensive coordinator Brad Radlovich wanted to see what they were going to come out in and make their adjustment.
Well, I want to thank the great folks at Goodwill, because this season when a team drives inside their opponent's 20-yard line, they have entered the Power Zone, brought to you by Goodwill and the Power of Work. Yeah, this team has gotten behind by double digits in 5 of their first 7 games, and I think 4 of those games it was the first quarter they got jumped by 2 scores, and suddenly most coaches you'd throw the game plan out. Now you're in a cold sweat here. What's going on? But Ryan McMillan says we're used to it. We just go do what we do.
Their kids don't panic.
No,
and that's probably a sign of how everything is presented to them.
It's again 3rd and 6 from the 46. Vikings showing blitz. They'll come in the gap. They'll give it to Rams. And Ram across the 45, driven back. Did not get the first down. It'll be stopped at the 43-yard line for a pickup of 3. Good surge that time by the defense. Once again, Eichelman was in there on the stop.
It's kind of a chess match right now. You can see they were double covering Zach Clayton, playing a safety over the top. But that's pulling a guy out of your run defense. So how are you going to make the adjust? How are you going to move those little chessmen out in the field?
They'll go for it on 4th down, 4th and 2 from the Viking 42-yard line. Get just across the 40-yard line for the first down, working from the eye. Nineheis under center, sends Clayton in motion. Fake the toss, rolling right. Throws on the run and hits his receiver, makes the catch on that far side. Max Caviani, his first catch tonight. One of the things I've noticed in the games here, it's not just Zach Clayton that catches a lot of football. It seems like everybody gets at least 2 or 3 in that receiving core.
Well, if you're going to double cover the one receiver, obviously someone's going to be open. And Nineheis loves that little rollout going to the side off that boot action.
Fitzgerald, a little cleanup there, and that was the other story in practice this week. The defensive coordinator for Wisconsin Lutheran saying, listen, we got to make number 4 feel it back there. Give him pressure, and when you have a chance, bring him to the turf. Good pressure that time by Fitzgerald. Spotted at the 27. They'll toss it to Rams again. Rams across the line of scrimmage before he is driven back there.
Rams, the ball carrier.
We could stop Chris Garrett along with Zach Cron. Maybe the best lineman out there for Wisconsin Lutheran. I know that's what Coach Radu, talking with him at practice earlier this week.
One of the factors, however, we have 9 guys for Wisconsin Lutheran playing both ways, and Oconomowoc is a 2-platoon team, and that was a problem early in the season. Wisco's been trying to do some things to combat that in terms of having their kids be in better shape, but over the course of a game, that can take its toll.
2nd and 6 from the 23. Nice quick drop under pressure, and down he goes. Adler Peterson blew through his block, got to the quarterback for the first sack tonight. Adler Peterson, 6'3", 285, a junior.
It's one of the players that defensive coordinator Brad Wetzel looks to, says he's their strongest player by far, but also another player goes both ways. So
he just destroyed Jacob Plock, the center. Just bulldozed him right over to get to the quarterback, Ninehaus. Lost back to the 30-yard line. Sets up a 3rd and 13 here in the final seconds of our first quarter. So from the Viking 30, 3rd and 13 for Oconomowoc. Very nice deep drop, wants to set the middle screen. Completes the pass, and good pursuit and the tackle. Cleaning up from behind, Mike Radu. Chris Garrett.
Made by number 82, Garrett.
Actually 82 Garrett with the stop, and that'll run out our first quarter here in Oconomowoc. 7-0 Raccoons lead. They'll be facing 4th and long when we return. Badger Max Thursday Night Lights on My 24 in Oconomowoc tonight. 7-0 Raccoons. Second quarter opens. Oconomowoc facing a 4th and 10 from the 27. They will go for it 2 by 2. Clayton and Hayes lined up here to the near side on 4th down. Ninehaus under pressure, steps up, delivers here to the near side. Catch is made near the 10-yard line and driven back. Zach Clayton once again coming up big when his team needs him on 4th down.
not only an outstanding receiver, outstanding student. He's got a 3.99. Somebody apparently gave him a straight A instead of an A+.
Cedric Carr there defensively. In the power zone, brought to you by Goodwill and the Power of Work. Mark it at the 11-yard line. 16-yard pickup by Clayton on that last 4th down conversion. Toss it to Rams around the left side. And a nice block as he cuts it at the hash mark. Still on his feet inside the 5 and driven back at the 3.
Very patient as he went to his left there. Read the block, cut underneath it.
Watch this block coming up right there. Clayton able to spring him for additional yardage inside the 5 down to the 3-yard line.
Well, at 6'3", 225, Zach Clayton is more than big enough to deliver devastating block.
Second down, 3 to go. They can get to the 1-yard line for a first down. They'll work it off the I formation. Toss to Rams. Rams up the middle. Gets it down to the 2-yard line. That's about it. It's again in there. Zach Krohn. Give him down to the 1-yard line, and it will be a first down. 1st and goal now.
That's good for another Oconomowoc. First down. 1st and goal from the 1.
Again, Krohn, 6 foot, 260-pound senior. Will get in there and make that stop. It'll be 1st and goal, Oconomowoc. Ninehaus in under center. Rams the tailback. Toss it to Rams. Met in the backfield, and second effort got him in. Ball came out. Vikings think they've got a fumble recovery, but he broke the plane before the ball came out. And Rams gets it in for the touchdown, his 8th rushing touchdown of the season.
And the replay, it looked like Cedric Carr had him stopped in the backfield.
Ooh, not so sure. just did break the plane of the goal before that ball came out. Those look for the extra point. Kick is up, and it is good. 14-0 Oconomowoc early here in the second. Rams getting the 1-yard touchdown run just barely. That ball came out just as he got to the goal line.
Yeah, if you had the ability to ask for a replay, that might have happened on that.
Well, the Salvation Army would like to recognize Mike Nyman. Mike has served as the facilities manager for the Waukesha Salvation Army for the past 10 years. He took an active role in the Emergency Disaster Services Program. This past Sunday, Mike recruited 8 volunteers and took the Salvation Army's canteen to the search site, where they then worked through the night serving refreshments to first responders, aiding in the search for a missing 10-year-old boy. Nyman is always looking for volunteers to join him with disaster work. Mike Nyman, perfect example of the Salvation Army mission of doing the most good.
Now, we've been talking about some of the stars for Oconomowoc. We have to give our props to that offensive line. Peter Alexander, Kean Rexroth-Potts, Jacob Plock, Chris Aschenbrenner, and Matt Matey. They've been really clearing the way for Rams to get those, 3 and 4 yards a crack. And he's been getting some outstanding blocking on the outside from his receivers.
Well, the big 4th down conversion that set them up in the power zone tonight. Before they kick this one off, let's head down to Mike.
Wisconsin Lutheran coaching staff on the offensive side said, boys, let's get a couple first downs. We need to get some momentum, start making sure that we do well on 1st and 2nd down. Couple of first downs, then we roll. They're doing okay over here.
O.J. James on the kick return takes it out across the 30-yard line. Good return by James.
That's nice so far in the game. 7 for 7. 107 yards.
Nice return here by O.J. James. So officially a 32-yard return for James. So Wisconsin Lutheran with some room to work here to start this drive, their 3rd possession of the game. Bloomquist at quarterback. And give it to Corbin. Corbin's gets out across the 37, maybe the 38-yard line. Get about 4, possibly 5 there. That's what they need. Here's the last scoring drive, 61 yards in 13 plays, just over 6.5 minutes.
Well, like Mike said, the Wisco coaching staff is making a critical point. We have to just keep grinding it out. That's how your option offense gets successful.
James and Corbin's in the backfield, 2 receivers to the far side. 2nd and 4 from the 39. Bloomquist will toss it back to James. James with some running room. High hurdles a man at the 45. Stops short just of midfield.
Well, Wisconsin Lutheran's actually coming out there with an unbalanced look. They've got 3 linemen just to the right of the center. They've got a tight end outside of that, plus a wide receiver. That extends the field that way and opens up that seam for the pitchman.
9-yard pickup by James. Another first down brought to you by Wisconsin Lutheran College. First and 10 Vikings. Ball at their own 47-yard line. James pops it across midfield into Oconomowoc territory to the 48-yard line. Good read that time by Zach Bloomquist, who took a pretty good shot as he handed that last one off to James.
Yeah, that's the way some people try to stop the option. They're always going to tackle that quarterback, and they figure over the course of the game it'll take its toll.
Again, good yardage here on first down. A gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Trying to stay ahead of the sticks here. Lindquist with James and Corbin's in the backfield. They'll run the option. Toss it back to James. James down the far sideline will get the first down inside the 40 and out of bounds near the 38-yard line. Gain of about 10 on the play for James, and once again Bloomquist took a shot as he delivered that football.
What he just ran is known as the load option, that near back to that side, doesn't fake the dive. He goes right out to block that outside defender, try to get that corner right away.
From the 39, 1st and 10. Wisconsin Lutheran trailing by 2 scores here with 8:20 to go in the half. This will hand it off. James met just across the line of scrimmage. Back down there. That was Ryan Griswold in there, the inside linebacker, able to make the stop, the senior, 5'8". That's 3 tackles already tonight for Griswold.
Oconomowoc is sending a defender right away to tackle Bloomquist before he can even go that pitch. Watch and see the adjustments that Wisco will make to try to take advantage of that particular maneuver.
2nd and 8 from the 37. Again, James gets the call. James for just a couple.
James, the ball carrier. Stop made by number 84, Voigt.
Voigt, Chandler Voigt, offensive end there on the stop, along with Brockway. Only a pickup of 1, so it's going to set up 3rd and 7 here at the 36.
Yeah, they've been getting 4 and 5 yards on their 1st and 2nd down plays. That plays into your hand as an option team. Suddenly, if you keep them under 3, kind of affects how well they can run this offense.
James to the left, Corbins to the right, behind the quarterback Bloomquist on 3rd and long from the 36. It's Corbins to about the 30-yard line, going to be short by a couple here, it looks like. Good 2 yards here short of the 1st down. So it sets up 4th and 2 for the Vikings. Head coach Joel Radu throwing out the play to his quarterback Zach Bloomquist on 4th and short, 4th and 2 from the 31. James to the left, Corbins to the right behind Bloomquist. Out of the pistol on 4th and 2. He'll hand it off. Corbins will get the 1st down inside the 30-yard line. Good hard run that time by Corbins. That's who you go to, your 1,100-yard rusher.
Well, they also came out with a double tight end set that time, put the flanker to the wide side of the field, and then ran back to the short side, trying to get Oconomowoc outnumbered.
Jeff Rowan there to make the stop, but not before a 1st down. Once again, 1st downs brought to you by Wisconsin Lutheran College. They'll mark it at the 28. 1st and 10. Wisco. Low snap. Bloomquist now wants to throw. Comes back near side looking for his man. And no flags as the defender was locked arm in arm with Mike Radu, the intended receiver, the tight end. Boy, they were arm in arm there for a while inside the 10-yard line.
A little bit of hand fighting going on downfield, as they like to say on Sundays.
On the defense, Taishi Akita on the defense that time with Radu.
Bloomquist is only throwing the ball 49 times coming into this game. So, I mean, you can see that passing isn't his primary duty, but trying to loosen up that Oconomowoc defense.
2nd and 10 from the 28. And Bloomquist pulled that ball back and was taken down for a loss. First man in there was Zach Schoeneman. Schoeneman, the 6-foot senior, able to get in there, make the play.
We talked in the pregame about being assignment sound when you're trying to defeat the option. And so you've got somebody assigned to the dive, someone to the quarterback. They're definitely attacking the quarterback, but what they're doing well for Oconomowoc is they're reading to see if that diveman has the ball, and then they're working inside out to help get to the quarterback and ultimately out to the pitchman if needed.
3rd and 11 for the Vikings. Ball at the Oconomowoc 29-yard line. Will pitch it late to James. James down the sideline, spins out of a tackle inside the 25, down to the 23. Run there. Noah Stratman, the corner on that far side, able to make the stop for the Raccoons. Set up about 4th and 5 here for Wisconsin Lutheran. We're able to convert on 4th and 2 on this drive. Eckerman will come in as the Z-back here for the Vikings. Eckerman and Jensen split here to the near side. The tight end is Radu, lined up here to the near side as well. 4th and 5, Bloomquist will hand it off. James spinning out of a tackle, fighting forward inside the 20, very close to the first down. And they will move the chains. Second effort once again by the senior O.J. James, fighting for that yardage, picks up the first down.
Now once again, Wisco overloaded to the wide side of the field and then gave that quick little cutback run to that short side of the formation.
Joel Radu, the head coach, the headset and the jacket on.
And also the offensive coordinator.
Yes, he is. One of the best. Second year. Once again, we've reached the Power Zone, brought to you by Goodwill and the Power of Work. From the 17, 1st and 10. Bloomquist going to pitch it back. Corbins breaks a tackle. Corbins inside the 10, still on his feet, gets it down to the 5-yard line. Excellent run that time by Brian Corbins, the senior. Take one more look. Nice little pitch there. Made the first back miss. Credit James with a nice block there to help his running mate out, getting it down to the 6-yard line.
This is exactly what Wisco needed to do, not only to get a score, but also to not let Oconomowoc get out onto the field.
1st and goal for the Vikings. Ball at the 6-yard line. Corbins inside. Corbins to the goal line. Second effort. Touchdown, Vikings. He just kept those feet driving and got it across the goal line. 13th touchdown of the season for Brian Corbins. And just what the doctor ordered here for Wisconsin Lutheran.
Well, you talk about your 1,000-yard people. You've got a quarterback for Oconomowoc throwing for over 1,000. You've got a receiver has over 1,000 yards, and you've got Brian Corbins for Wisconsin Lutheran over 1,000 yards on the ground.
For the extra point is up, and it is good. We'll take a break. 14-7 Oconomowoc, a snappy drive for Wisconsin Lutheran. We've got ourselves a ball game late here in this first half. Our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights presented by Midwest Surgery Center. Welcome back to Rucks Field. In Oconomowoc tonight, the Vikings have cut the deficit in half on a snappy drive here. 14-7, a 12-play drive, 11 on the ground.
That's the Wisco we know and love, and they do that well. It's interesting to note something Joel Radu pointed out to us. All of his coaches played at Wisconsin Lutheran, so they know this offense.
Well, it's the toughest reality show on television. It's American Ninja Warrior. Don't miss the action tomorrow night at 7. Here on My 24. Vikings, their first kick tonight. This will be a ground ball. It'll be picked up by one of the short men here on the near side. He'll just dive it out of bounds short of the 40-yard line. Let's head down to the sideline, and Kara.
Thank you so much. I've got Major Nelson De La Verge, the commanding officer for the Waukesha Salvation Army, down here with me. Now, you guys are involved in the EDS. Can you just tell us what that stands for and what that does for our country?
EDS is the Emergency Disaster Services, and it's a little over 100 years old now that we've been doing this for disaster situations like hurricanes, fires, local stuff, a lot of things like lost children, which we just did this last weekend.
And especially with Hurricane Matthew touching in on our southern states, I'm sure you guys are involved that way too.
Yes, we are. We're collecting right now supplies for that to be ready if we're called.
Well, thank you so much for all that you do for our community, and back to you guys.
All right, Kara, thank you very much. On first down, Nineheis able to swing that out to Max Caviani, his second reception tonight. All the way out across midfield. 12-yard pickup and a first down for Oconomowoc.
And one of the things they did there is they slanted Zach Clayton across the middle. He pulled all his defenders with him and left it open for Caviani. And Nice, that little boot action, threw that ball right on the line to him.
Single back is Rams on 1st and 10 from midfield. Fake to Rams, Nineheis. Chased, gets it away, and the catch made on the sideline, out of bounds. Intended for Luke Hernbrod. Hernbrod, the 5'10", 160-pound junior.
Yeah, one of the things you have to do right now is you have to tell your defensive end, if he looks like he's going away from you, don't necessarily try to follow. He's going to come back on that rollout. So that time Ickerman, started to pursue down the line. He thought the ball was going left. Suddenly you had Nineheis rolling to his right.
Let's go downstairs to Mike McGivern.
Hey, on the offensive side here on the Wisconsin Lutheran side, feeling much better. Said, boys, a couple of first downs, and then we roll. Exactly what they talked about. They think they're starting to wear them down up front and going wide with some speed that they think Oconomowoc's having a hard time with.
2nd and 10 from midfield. They'll toss it. And it's met in the backfield for a loss back at the 46-yard line. German Fitzgerald able to make the tackle. All season, Mike and Kara will have the opportunity to talk with sponsors, coaches, and other guests down on the sidelines, letting you know about the great things going on in our schools and communities we visit. Our sideline reports being brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards. Loss of 4 sets up 3rd and 14 back at the Viking, or the Oconomowoc 46-yard line, excuse me. Nineheis in under center. Clayton in motion to the near side. Nineheis rolling right. And deliver here to the near side, looking for Clayton, but it caught it on the boundary, out of bounds. And he was there, just the ball a little late to get there. And again, that's because of the pressure chasing Nineheis out of the pocket.
And one of the things, if you look at the defensive end for Wisconsin Lutheran, he's got to fight that desire to try to go inside. He needs to get onto the outside shoulder of the blocker, so he can't let Nineheis escape out of that pocket. Once again, though, you can see how well he throws that ball.
Yes, he does.
Not missing by much.
So this week on Faith in the Zone, Brian Hummel, former Brewer draft pick and current Arizona Diamondbacks team chaplain, will join Mike McGivern and Pastor Ken Keltner to discuss his faith and how it has affected his life professionally and personally. Faith in the Zone, Sundays at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. on Sports Radio 105.7 FM, The Fan. Clayton will punt this one away. Short punt. Oconomowoc going to down it just short of the 30-yard line. So a minute 45 to go. Vikings will get the football back, trailing by 7. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining.
Now here's the area where sometimes option offenses struggle. They're not a quick hitting type of team. If you give the ball back to Oconomowoc with 1:45, you might see 12 passes. But it'll be interesting to see just how Joel Radu is going to make the calls on this.
Rain is cleared out. It's become a nice evening here in Oconomowoc tonight. Student body out in full force tonight. Lundqvist go with 3 receivers here and a single back. Corbins breaks a tackle. Corbins down the near sideline. Corbins will break it. Ryan Corbins will take this one to the house. Ryan Corbins, 71-yard touchdown run.
Now you say quick strike offense. You don't expect an option, but what they did is notice once again, 2 receivers wide side of the field, come back to the short side, and Corbins with that excellent speed, he's gone.
Run it right through your living room. 71 yards. And an extra point away from tying this one up. Ryan Corbin, 6-foot senior. He's rushed for over 1,100 yards this season through the first 7 games. Giddy for the extra point. It is on the way. Hits the upright and bounces its way through.
Did he call that before he kicked it?
Got to call the doinks, don't you? Got to go off Upright and in. We're tied at 14 with 1:35 to go here in the half.
Well, kind of redoing the script here. Oconomowoc got off to the lead for a change. Wisconsin Lutheran has come back.
One more look here at the 71-yard touchdown run. And Corbin's 14 touchdowns on the year. Let's head to the sidelines and Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, so I'm on the sidelines with Mike. 35 years he's been a chain gang guy. He retired. This is the first game he's been to. How you doing with this?
Great, great.
Yeah?
Until the last touchdown just now.
Well, you know, as a chain gang guy, you got to be quick and get out of the way.
Absolutely. And in fact, I was worried about the interview going over here with this young lady. Her back was to these people, and they come rolling around there. They wiped me out once. I almost broke a leg. So you got to be watching that.
Hey, the cool part, last year I interviewed his granddaughter, Maddie. She was tougher last year. She stayed home. She thought it was going to rain tonight.
Yep.
Maddie, we miss you. We miss you. Hey, congratulations, 35 years you've been doing this.
Very much.
Thanks for
Appreciate
giving back to high school sports.
I appreciate it very much, and thank you.
You bet. Back to you, boys.
Mike, good story there. The unsung heroes on that Friday nights, or in this case, Thursday nights.
Well, it's a community effort.
Yep. Again, it'll be a low kick. We picked up short. With it is Nicholas Fioretta. Fioretta out to about the 35-yard line, and that's it. So with 1:31 and 2 timeouts, let's see what the Raccoons do here from their own 36-yard line. Nice. We'll have Rams in the backfield. Twins to the top of the picture. They'll come back near side, and it's incomplete. Looking here for Goulet, the split end, the junior, is overthrown into the boundary. O.J. James, who goes both ways on the corner here on the coverage.
Yeah, they brought Chris Garrett up from his linebacker position, put him on the end, and he was putting pressure from the outside. 6'6", 210-pound senior.
2nd and 10 from the 36. And they'll go trips to the left here. Looking left all the way, now under pressure, and down he goes. 82, Chris Garrett, who we just talked about last play. That time got pressure all the way back to the quarterback, his second sack tonight.
That was one of those little wrinkles Coach Redu said they were going to do, a little 4-2-5, get 5 defensive backs in there. Garrett, who's usually a linebacker, he has good quick moves, got to this inside. Lucky that did not see Nice fumble on that.
He got past the right tackle, Mady, that time, got him off balance, and then cut to the inside. A loss of 9 back to the 27-yard line. Clock continues to roll here. 40 seconds to go in this first half, and they might just stay in the huddle here. They'll take the timeout here, their second timeout. Ryan McMillan with the headset on, the head coach. Brad Radulovic is the offensive coordinator for the Raccoons.
And one of those things people talk about is Mr. Momentum. And the momentum has certainly shifted here as we move through that second quarter, and Wisconsin Lutheran started getting their option, their running game going.
Well, tonight we'd like to welcome everyone watching us on the American Sports Network. Check out all the great sports programming available at AmericanSportsNet.com. Hope you're enjoying this one from Oconomowoc, Wisconsin tonight.
Be fun to hear those people out east try to say the word Oconomowoc.
Oconomowoc 7-0 on the year. Coming in ranked 4th in this week's WisSports.net coaches poll. Kimberly ranked number 1, followed by Bayport, then Verona, undefeated out of the Big 8 conference out there near Madison. Oconomowoc 4th, Lake Geneva Badger 5th. Point is ranked 6th, Sun Prairie 7th, and Franklin, Marquette, and Milwaukee Rufus King round out the top 10 in Division I. 34 seconds to go in the half, 3rd and 19 for Oconomowoc. Empty backfield, 5 receivers going out. High snap, 9 Heiss able to come down with it, now under pressure, and he's going to go down back at the 20-yard line. Let's see if Wisconsin Lutheran will take a timeout here. They will, and stop the clock with 26 seconds to play. The high snap disrupted the rhythm. We'll credit the sack to Fitzgerald, the senior defensive tackle.
And Wisconsin Lutheran is really starting to fight off the blocks. They've kind of gotten into the ebb and flow of the game, and now they're starting to put some real pressure on 9 Heiss. And one of the things that Coach Redu mentioned, we can't let him just stand there and throw the ball.
So 4th and 25, 26 seconds to go here in the half. It would appear the Vikings will get the ball back with some time on the clock here, plus 1 timeout.
We'll see if my comment about not having a quick strike offense plays out again. But once again, you notice they went with the option and they worked it to perfection. So I won't try to second guess anymore.
Again, this is the final meeting between these two schools. Conference realignment takes place next year. Wisconsin Lutheran headed to the Woodland Conference, and Oconomowoc into that meat grinder called the Classic game.
Well, the Wisconsin Little 10 is one of the older conferences in the Milwaukee area. Very proud tradition, some excellent teams over the years. And in some ways, you hate to see those things come to an end.
Now, as the coaches mentioned in the pregame, you've built up some non-conference rivalries as too. That Marquette-Wisco game that usually kicks off the season, that one goes by the wayside. That's what, it's almost 20 years in the making there.
Some wild and crazy games in that series.
Clayton will punt this one away. O.J. James at the 42, and he's down immediately. Getting down there nicely on special teams. Luke Hernbrod on special teams. And so, 18 seconds to go. Coming up at halftime, we'll highlight this week's Scholar Athlete. And Kara has a chance to talk with a few of our sponsors coming up during our halftime report here on My 24. 18 seconds to go. Spot the football at the 42-yard line. See what Bloomquist will do here. Corbins is the single back. They'll line up 3 receivers here to the near side. Bloomquist going to come back near side and throws it low, incomplete. Going to come back with Eckerman, Ebenezer Eckerman. Stops the clock with 13 seconds to play, 2nd and 10 from the 42. They'll bring Fabian in now. One of the wide outs here. He'll split out to the right side along with Cooper Gady. Second and 10 from the 42. James up the middle. James fighting forward. Short of the first down at the 49-yard line. Clock rolling here, and it looks like Coach Redu going to let the clock run out. Our first half will come to an end. What a ball game we've got here. Oconomowoc got the first 2 scores of the ball game, opened up a 14-0 lead, but Wisconsin Lutheran Vikings came back. Big 71-yard touchdown run by Brian Corbins tied this one up. 14-all at the half. Our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights on My 24. Welcome back to our halftime report here on Badger Max Thursday Night Lights, presented by Northwest Surgery Center with Terry Kelly, John Weiser with you in the booth, Mike McGivern and Kara down on the sidelines, and a change in momentum since the 9-minute mark here in the second quarter as the Vikings have come back to tie this one at 14 apiece. Well, tonight we'd like to highlight a special student athlete. My 24 is proud to present our Scholar Athlete of the Week nominee. And it's from Wisconsin Lutheran High School. Our nominee is O.J. James. O.J. competes in football and basketball and carries a 3.3 GPA. He is a starter on both the football and basketball teams, as well as being chosen as captain for the football squad. He helps out his community by participating in the Reading Buddy program. Each week we highlight a scholar athlete who achieves great things on the field, in the classroom, and in their community. Congratulations from all of us at My 24. 14 apiece between Oconomowoc and Wisconsin Lutheran tonight. A Wisconsin Little 10 matchup in Oconomowoc. Let's head downstairs and our first sideline interview with Kara.
Thank you very much, John. I've got Andrew Burns of Badger Max down here. One of the things that we haven't highlighted yet throughout this season is how much you take hold of being the title sponsor for Thursday Night Lights. Badger Max Thursday Night Lights. You guys are down here each week with a trophy for the winning school. You've got handkerchiefs for both teams. You guys have a booth with sampling. I mean, how important is it for you guys to get this local brand out here to each of the schools and into the communities?
Well, it's really important for a game like this, especially for these type of games, getting trials out to the fans, to the players, all that type of stuff. So that really helps us, and we tell them where they can actually buy it as well. And we've always gotten a really good response.
Well, and we've heard that response as well. I mean, you guys came out here last season with Badger Max, and you weren't available in all stores.
That's right.
And you guys have grown exponentially. Where can folks at home find Badger Max?
Right, so we have it in all the Roundies, Cops, Pick and Saves, Quick Trips, Myers, Woodman's, and some Sendix. And you'll see it at a few gas stations here and there as well.
And what flavors do you guys have so that anybody who's interested doesn't know?
So my favorite is grape, so try that. We have Blue Torrent, which is a raspberry, orange, fruit punch. And then we have Arctic Game Pack, which is kind of a mixed berry flavor.
And not only are you guys involved with our Thursday Night Lights high school football series, but we can expect to see you in high school hoops later this winter. Are you guys getting ready for that?
Yes, absolutely. We had some really great games last year, and we're looking forward to this year.
Well, thank you so much for all that you do in providing our communities with such a great product, and of course for joining us for Thursday Night Lights.
Thanks so much.
And back to you.
Andrew, thank you very much for the title sponsorship once again for Badger Max Thursday Night Lights, and we're looking forward to having them on board for Friday Night Hoops here on My 24. 14 apiece, Wisconsin Lutheran and Oconomowoc. Back with more of our halftime programming after this. Welcome back to our halftime report on Badger Max Thursday Night Lights, presented by the Northwest Surgery Center. John Weiser, Terry Kelly, Kara, and Mike McGivern all with you tonight from Oconomowoc High School. We're tied at 14. The Vikings getting 2 touchdowns in the second quarter, including a 71-yard run by Brian Corbins. Let's head down to the sideline once again. And Kara, who is that guy in purple?
This guy in purple is our Oconomowoc Athletic Director, Kevin Fligner. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. You just mentioned that you guys have been averaging about 4,000 people here tonight, but we're only seeing about half that much. I mean, certainly tonight turned into a beautiful night. We get to experience this great facility. Just tell us a little bit about it and how excited you are for the beginning of the school year.
Sure, thank you for having me. First of all, the fall's an exciting time of year. Student athletes are playing their hearts out each and every night. The students are coming out, the band's playing. The community is really getting behind our school. So we're excited to be here tonight. Tonight, 2,500 fans or so. A lot of people are sitting home, I know, watching TV thinking it was going to rain. But the fans that are here have been great, and, we're cheering our team on to victory, hopefully, tonight.
Well, and you mentioned that, so we're super lucky to be joining you on a potentially dreary night, so that's great for us. But you mentioned something about wanting to change the student culture around here, and now with the new student section, you guys named the Purple Thunder. Can you share with us a little bit about that?
Yeah, you bet. We started the Ocon Fan Club at the beginning of the school year, and the goal was to get our students to the game, supporting all of our teams, not just the football team. And I think we're doing that. And I want to put a nice plug in for First Bank here in Oconomowoc, who sponsored our student section this year, gave a nice donation, and donated 1,000 t-shirts for our students. And as you can see, they're excited to be here.
Well, and we're certainly excited to be here. Thank you so much for letting us kind of move in on your turf here tonight. But as always, it's a pleasure to be in Oconomowoc.
Thank you for being here, and we're excited.
And back to you guys.
I echo that as well, Kara. Thanks to Kevin Fligner and the fine staff here at Oconomowoc for putting up with us here tonight.
We have to put a special thanks to all the athletic directors, the administrative assistants who get us the information we need during the week so we can prepare for the game. Without them, we couldn't do the job.
The administrative assistants that we have to go through.
Notice who I said, yes.
Yeah, that's what makes it roll. You got it. tied at 14 here in Oconomowoc at Ruck Stadium. Vikings getting a pair of touchdowns from Brian Corbins, and one of them a 71-yard run as we head back to the sideline once again, and Kara.
And once again, I have another member of our service down here with me. I've got Sergeant Michael Vorpal of the United States Marines. Now, what has your experience been with the Marine Corps?
My experience with the Marine Corps has been nothing but positive. I've gotten to experience many different people from all around the country, let alone the world, but it gave me an appreciation for what we did have, because in seeing what everyone else was experiencing in the world, you know, it made Thursday night football, like here at the high school, even that much more great upon coming back here.
Well, and as a recruiter, this is probably a perfect opportunity for you to meet potential candidates for the Marine Corps. What are the qualifications for that?
There are a lot of qualifications, mental qualifications, moral, so police involvement, as well as some medical questions, but really, you know, being able to do pull-ups and really hold themselves.
Well, you guys managed to bring a pull-up bar every game, on site to every game, so there's certainly no shortage of that, right?
No, absolutely not. It's been crowded the entire time, and it just makes it that much more fun.
Well, we thank you so much for joining us for Thursday Night Lights, and of course, everything that you do for our country.
Thank you.
And back to you.
Kara, thank you, and we also want to thank Sergeant Michael Vorpal, the United States Marine Corps, for your service to your country. 14 apiece, Oconomowoc and Wisconsin Lutheran. Back with more after this. Welcome back to our halftime report here on Badger Max Thursday Night Lights, presented by Northwest Surgery Center. A great one going here tonight, tied at 14. The Wisconsin Lutheran Vikings trying to get a piece of their last Wisconsin Little 10 conference title against the Oconomowoc Raccoons, who are undefeated in conference play. We're knotted up at 14 apiece. Once again, down to the sidelines we go, and Kara.
Thank you once again. I've got Staff Sergeant Louis DeAnda of the United States Army down here with me. Why did you join the Army?
I'd say I joined the Army pretty much just out of service to country, patriotism. I got out of high school and then realized really soon with everything that was going on that I thought that the best place for me was serving my country on the front lines, and so that's exactly what I did.
And what exactly is your role in the Army, aside from now being a recruiter?
Aside from now, I was previously a United States paratrooper, so pretty much jump out of airplanes, seize airfields, and take the fight to our nation's enemies.
And there are a lot of other individual opportunities being in the Army other than maybe like going into war or being on the battlefield. Can you talk a little bit about that in the Army Reserves?
Absolutely. The Army Reserves, obviously part-time. You know, think of active duty as a full-time position. Our Army Reserves are our administrative and support jobs, combat support jobs too as well. And there's a lot of benefits there, obviously. Stay home, full-time job, 1 week in a month, 2 weeks out of the summer, and hey, you're serving your country.
So all of that grueling training eventually pays off, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, but the training never stops.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much, of course, for joining us for Thursday Night Lights and all that you've done for our country. And go Army, right?
Yeah, go Army, absolutely.
Back to you guys.
Kara, thank you so much. Staff Sergeant Louis DeAnda, thank you as well. 14-14 Vikings and Raccoons tonight here in Oconomowoc. This leads us into our halftime highlights, brought to you by the U.S. Army. Army strong, and a tale of two quarters tonight, Terry.
Right, it flipped around. All of a sudden, Wisco started getting their run game going.
Started early with Oconomowoc. A couple of nice tosses by Nineheist to Clayton to set up this first touchdown drive.
Right, but on the night, not quite as many completions to Clayton as we would have expected.
But first touchdown pass to Clayton. That made it 7-0. Wisconsin Lutheran then went to work, tried to go for it on fourth down, and pass was intercepted. That set up the second touchdown drive, this time Jake Rams going in from 1 yard out.
Yeah, we didn't know if he quite crossed that line before the ball popped out.
Well, Wisconsin Lutheran went to work. Two snappy drives here in the second quarter, and it was on the feet of Brian Corbins. His first of two touchdowns tonight, getting in. That cut the deficit in half, 14-7, and this beautiful 71-yard touchdown run down the near sideline.
Yeah, the middle was clogged up. Brian got to the outside and steamed right into the end zone.
So a pair of touchdowns by Corbins tied this ball game at 14 apiece. Our halftime highlights brought to you by U.S. Army. Army strong, Second half coming your way next here on My 24. Second half set to begin. 14-14 Vikings and Raccoons. Before we get the third quarter started, though, Kara had a chance to visit with the fine folks at Goodwill.
Thank you so much. I've got Pat Bolter with Goodwill here with me. Now, Pat, as we head into fall, why is Goodwill such a great destination for Halloween?
Well, for us, Halloween is like Christmas. If you're still racking your brain for that great Halloween costume idea and don't want to spend a fortune, we're your go-to destination for Halloween. We have unbelievable costuming and accessories and decor ideas for your home. Really the go-to place for Halloween, all at affordable prices. So instead of spending hundreds of dollars on a costume, come to Goodwill and we'll help you put together these fantastic costumes and ideas. Go to our website for it all, amazinggoodwill.com. There's a Halloween section, and we have everything from pumpkin carving templates and videos on how to put some of these costumes together.
Well, thank you so much for all that you offer for our community and, of course, for supporting Thursday Night Lights.
Thank you.
And back to you.
Kara, thank you so much. Here are the numbers through the first half, Terry.
Almost 200 yards rushing for Wisconsin Lutheran, what they'd like to expect. Not quite as many yards passing as Oconomowoc would like to have.
Just the one penalty on the Vikings there in the first half. That was early. Oconomowoc won the toss. We'll get the kickoff to begin this second half. This will be a ground ball kick once again. Picked up by Goulet. Fumble the football. It's recovered by Wisconsin Lutheran at the 21. Goulet coughed it up. And there to pick it up, Johnny on the spot, Armani Buckley. Just what the Vikings were looking for here early on, as they have taken the momentum here in this football game since beginning of the second quarter.
Coach McMillan talked about the fact he thought Wisco was getting, quote-unquote, their groove back, and it certainly is turning out to be the case.
Garrett forced it out. Buckley with the recovery. 1st and 10, Wisco at the 21-yard line. Lucas will hand it off. Corbin spinning out of a tackle inside the 15 down to the 13-yard line. Brian Corbin's over 100 yards rushing here so far tonight. Once again, our fancy footwork replay brought to you by Northwest Surgery Center. He spins his way out of a tackle. Again, Northwest Surgery Center, minimally invasive surgery for bunions, hammer toes, heel spurs, and other foot and ankle concerns. Gain of 8, 2nd and 2. Corbins gets the call again. That ball's out. And recovered again by Wisconsin Lutheran. Wet field, wet football so far tonight.
And the emotions are playing a role here as well.
Keita there. Once again, we reach the power zone. We thank the fine folks at Goodwill. Season when a team drives into their opponent's 20-yard line, they've entered the power zone. Brought to you by Goodwill and the power of work. Up for the first down, 1st and goal from the 7. Just underway, third quarter. Fumble on the kickoff by Oconomowoc has set up Wisconsin Lutheran on this short drive. Hands it off. O.J. James, nowhere to go. Wrapped up almost immediately by the interior of that line. We'll get a good look. Just got to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
Yeah, one of the things you might notice there is the tight end took a little extra wider split. They call that a nasty split. It kind of puts the defense between the rock and the hard place of where are you going to align. They're trying to create bigger seams for that dive man and the quarterback to take that ball out and go one hole wider.
James and Corbin's the split backfield behind Bloomquist. 2nd and goal from the 5. Bloomquist will hand it off. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Vikings.
You're really
Zach Bloomquist, the quarterback on the keep.
You're really seeing that offensive line for Wisconsin Lutheran get a surge coming off the ball, trying to get to that second level. Watch him move forward. It just creates that seam.
4th touchdown on the ground for Bloomquist this year, and the Vikings take their first lead of the night. So the fumble on the kickoff recovered by the Vikings. They cash it in for points. Extra point attempt is on the way, and it is good. 21 unanswered by the Vikings. And they lead it now by a score of 21-14. So a short drive just inside the 17-yard line for the Vikings, capped off by the Bloomquist touchdown run as we head downstairs to Kara.
Thank you very much. I've got Stephanie of Northwest Surgery Center down here with me. Stephanie, can you tell us a little bit about Northwest Surgery Center?
Of course. At Northwest Surgery Center, we specialize in minimally invasive foot and ankle surgery. Now, being minimally invasive means you have a smaller incision, less downtime, and a quicker recovery.
And what sets you apart from other facilities that would do minimally invasive surgeries?
Well, like I said, we do minimally invasive, so there is no hardware in the foot, and that is a big difference.
And of course, all of the wonderful staff at Northwest Surgery Center, right?
Yes, of course.
Well, thank you so much for supporting us for Thursday Night Lights and for My 24. And back to you guys.
Kara, thank you so much. We welcome in Northwest Surgery Center this season on our Thursday Night Lights broadcast. Thank you so much. Well, 21 unanswered here by the Vikings.
And this is the position Oconomowoc has found themselves in throughout the year. We'll see what the response is this evening.
And Goulet picks it up off the turf to the 25, and he is leveled at the 25-yard line. Cedric Carr able to make the stop. There you see the 21 yards on 4 plays. Bloomquist going over from the 5.
Well, Cedric Carr is the free safety most of the time for Wisconsin Lutheran, and on the year he's had 27 solo tackles, so he's not afraid to come up, put that hit on the ball carrier.
And a reminder, Badger Max Thursday Night Lights available streaming live online. Log on to my24milwaukee.com and click on the Thursday Night Lights link. 1st and 10 for the Raccoons, and it's handoff to the first man through. That is Jake Rams. Rams trying to establish the ground game here tonight. They only had 15 yards rushing in that first half.
Well, started off in the first half, in the opening quarter, Jake Rams was getting some yardage, but we've seen how much this Wisconsin Lutheran defense has stiffened.
Again, Crone, Allen, Peterson, Fitzgerald up front. Linebackers Fabian, Garrett, Eichelman. And the secondary of James, Corbins, Carr, and Buckley. Buckley recovering that fumble that led to the 3rd touchdown tonight for the Vikings. 2nd down, 7 from the 29. Nice fakes the toss, comes back near side, completes the pass. Clayton with the catch. Oh, check that, number 9 with the catch. That is Ryan Hayes. Hayes with the reception as we head down to the sideline, and Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, on the Oconomowoc sideline, they said, boys, just relax. Take a breath, relax. We've been here before. We've been down in a lot of games. Relax, let's get back and do what we do, which is move the ball, score some points. You see them, I think they'll start to open up and throw it a little bit coming here soon.
Well, critical 3rd down here. 3rd and 3 from the 33. Nineheis will work from the shotgun. Take the snap. Down the sideline as a Wildcat look that time. That was Goulet, who took the direct snap as a Wildcat, I should say, behind center, and picks up the 1st down. They'll mark him out at the 44-yard line.
They were working on that formation when we were out here on Monday doing a number of Wildcat plays just to kind of change up the rhythm of it. He kind of squirmed his way down that sideline very well.
Interesting, Corbins and James were the 2 guys to get a piece of him out of bounds. 2 running backs that play both ways for Wisconsin Lutheran. The Wisconsin Lutheran College-sponsored 1st down here for Oconomowoc. They'll toss it back. Rams on the carry, far sideline. Short of midfield. Ickelman was there. Again, this season, 1st downs are sponsored by Wisconsin Lutheran College, located in Milwaukee. Comprehensive Christian college offering 37 undergraduate majors, an accelerated degree completion program for adult learners, and graduate degree options. Learn more at WLC.edu. 2nd and 5 from their own 48-yard line. Nineheis under center. Give it to the fullback, and he is met immediately for no gain. Treviani with the carry, Garrett with the stop. Chris Garrett, the Will Backer, leading tackler coming into the game tonight for the Vikings.
We see him play some on offense. He's one of their captains. He's the only player for Wisconsin Lutheran who's back this year who had all-conference mention a year ago.
6'6", 210 goes Garrett. Another critical third down here. 3rd and 5 from their own 48. Nineheis again will work from shotgun. 2 by 2, the receiving core. Little hitch and go. They come back on a little slant route that time, intended for Hayes, thrown low and incomplete.
That's about the first bad pass we've seen him throw all night. Usually Ben Nineheis right on the mark. He's trying to force that in there. It'll be interesting. Clayton is their punter, so they can come out in a formation. You're not quite sure. Is it the punt team that's in there, or are they going to go for it?
It appears they will go for it here on 4th down near midfield. 4th and 5 from their own 48. Nineheis again will work from shotgun. Now on the scramble, running down the sideline, and he gets out of bounds. Boy, going to be very, very close. Let's see where they mark him out. I believe he's going to be short. Forced out near the 49-yard line as we take one more look. Good coverage back there. There's O.J. James getting over there from his defensive back position to seal that off.
Once again, we're seeing these guys who are playing both ways for Wisconsin Lutheran. But we saw during practice the defense, after every play that the scout offense ran, they ran a half-gasser across the field and back, and they weren't just dogging it.
So the Vikings get it back on downs at their own 49-yard line. 6:51 to go here in the third. 21 unanswered by the Vikings here. They lead by 7. Fake, gonna throw the slant, completes the pass to the near side. Mike Redu, his first catch tonight, the 6'3" senior. We saw that in practice. They were working very hard on that hard slant by the tight end.
Right, they're not gonna try to kill you with the deep passes. They're gonna try and hit, quick little bubble screens to the outside, the quick slant or pop to the tight end. Redu, an excellent basketball player as well.
Kita making the stop, senior. For Oconomowoc. Gain of 9, 2nd and 1. All kinds of things now with the option offense here. We got the chains at 2nd and 1. And the option down the line, pitch back. Corbins gets inside the 40. He'll get the first down as he was pulled down just across the down marker. Ryan Griswold there to make the stop. That's 5 tackles tonight for Griswold, the senior.
A good flow by the Oconomowoc defense, but enough shake and bake by Brian Corbins to get that first down.
By the shirt tail that time, Griswold able to bring him down. But enough for a first down. Again, first down sponsored by Wisconsin Lutheran College. From the Raccoon 40-yard line, 1st and 10. Corbins to the right, James to the left. They'll give it to Corbins, and Corbins met by a host of Oconomowoc players. Clayton trying to strip that ball out. Working on that drill we saw on Monday out here.
Yeah, and Clayton is about the only player that Oconomowoc has that goes both ways. He'll come in and fill in some at linebacker.
Give him 1 on the play. 2nd and 9 from the 39. 5.5 minutes to go here in the third. Wisconsin Lutheran, since early in the second quarter, has taken the momentum here in this ball game. Blomqvist will keep it himself. Blomqvist up the middle inside the 35 down to about the 32-yard line. Zach Blomqvist, the quarterback, calling his own number that time.
Guys, Blomqvist comes up to the line of scrimmage. He looks over that defense and makes the decision what side will they run the option to. And that time he pulled it out, went 1 hole wider, got a good gain out of it.
James split to the left. Corbins to the right behind the quarterback, Bloomquist. Bloomquist will give it to Corbins. Corbins with a first down. Get it just short of the 25-yard line. Corbins picks up another Wisconsin Lutheran College first down.
Wisconsin Lutheran very content with this kind of game. Eat up the clock. Keep Oconomowoc's offense on the sideline. Keep moving into position.
Gady and Fabian will check in now at receiver spots. They'll come to the near side. From the 26, 1st and 10 Vikings. They started after turning away Oconomowoc on downs. O.J. James with the carry. James down near the 21.
James, the ball carrier.
We mentioned how important this game is. Not only does Oconomowoc want to be a conference champion, they want to be an undefeated conference champion to try to get that #1 seed. Conversely, Wisconsin Lutheran trying to make their overall season record a little bit more appealing to the folks who set up the seeds.
The Vikings at 4-1 in the league. Oconomowoc 5-0. Lundqvist tried to keep it that time and ran into a brick wall there. It's again Griswold and Brady Thielen both there. Listen to the Wednesday's Varsity Blitz Show presented by your local Pick and Save stores this Saturday morning starting at 10. New Berlin Eisenhower head coach Matt Kern will join Mike McGivern and Tom Swiddle to discuss the Woodland Conference. Hey, and Coach Mike Yeager from Carthage College will also join in the chat with the boys this Saturday from 10 to noon, only on Sports Radio 105.7 FM, The Fan. You know it's big time when Yeager makes that show.
Probably
We're coming.
Travel expenses, doesn't he?
The Red Men are coming. 3rd and 4 from the 20. Lundqvist will keep it himself, darts back inside, and it's going to be stopped short of the first down.
Lundqvist on the keeper.
Thielen again there on the stop. Brady Thielen, the senior outside linebacker.
Yeah,
now another 4th and 1 here for the Vikings. You got to give it to Corbins here, don't you?
You're going to trust him to make the right read. I'm sure that's what Coach Rideau wants to have happen.
4th and 1 from the 17. Corbins diving forward, and second effort could be very close. Tried to stretch that ball over the line to gain. Nope, first down. By the length of the football, Corbins able to stretch that one into a first down.
Well, that's the 3rd time now that they've run in short yardage situations to that short side, their weaker side of the offensive set.
A little extra forward surge to get him the first down. Now we're in the power zone here, and brought to you by Goodwill and the Power of Work. Minute 52 to go here in the 3rd. Vikings looking to extend their lead. From the 15. Movement up front. Some jumping on both sides there. And the Vikings only whistled for 1 penalty in that first half. And get this one here in a false start.
One of the things when an option team gets the lead and they get the ball back and they're making yardage, you look up and that clock, it seems like it's spinning by. And that's when Oconomowoc can start to get a little nervous when you don't get a chance to run your offense.
Might have been on the left tackle, Fitzgerald, that time, flinched a little bit. So 1st and 15, the ball back to the 20-yard line. Lundqvist will keep it on the fake. Takes it right back to the 15-yard line, got those 5 yards back. He's tripped up on the way. Landowski along with Thielen. Again, just melting this clock down. Just over a minute to go here in the 3rd.
Well, on the season, Zach Bloomquist is averaging about 4 yards per carry, which is all you need. I'm not real good with math. 3 times 4 gives you 12 yards and a first down. All right? My teachers didn't think I could do that.
Bob Carnes was my math teacher. He still can't think I can teach. 2nd and 10 from the 15. Hands it off. O.J. James fighting for yardage inside the 10 down to the 8-yard line. O.J. James brought down by Chandler Voigt. To be there.
Well, if Wisconsin Lutheran doesn't want to, they don't have to run another play this quarter, and it seems like they've had the ball almost the entire third quarter.
I believe they heard you on that one. Let's see Coach Radu pulling his team back out of that huddle. And we'll head to the fourth quarter. 21 unanswered here by the Vikings, but they're knocking on the door, trying to get to 28. They lead at 21-14 after 3. Our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights presented by Northwest Surgery Center on My 24. 21-14, Wisconsin Lutheran High School on top of Oconomowoc to begin quarter number 4 with Terry Kelly, John Weiser up in the booth, Mike McGivern and Kara down on the sidelines. Our entire My 24 team here for the fourth quarter now. Wisconsin Lutheran facing a 3rd and 2 at the 7-yard line. Again, they give it to Corbin's still on his feet. Is wrestled down. See where forward progress will give him here, just inside the 5-yard line. And should be enough for a first down. It is 1st and goal now from the 4. And again, just an option play just starting to eat away here at Oconomowoc up front as we head downstairs to Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, throughout the years, you know how much I love players that take ownership of teams. Number 82, Chris Garrett. Used to go to church with him, quiet as a mouse. And this kid has taken ownership of this team. Walking to each player saying, we need to finish it, fourth quarter is ours. I've fallen in love with number 82, Chris Garrett.
Yeah, his forced fumble set up the first score here in this third quarter. And now struggling to fight his way in, short of the goal line was O.J. James.
That's been a dynamic duo for them, James and Corbin. First half, they had almost 200 yards rushing between the two of them.
Just about to get that second effort, lean that ball over, and he got pushed back at the goal line. 2nd and goal from the 1. James split to the left. Corbin's to the right behind the quarterback, Bloomquist. And Bloomquist hands it off. Touchdown. Corbin's his 3rd score tonight.
I don't think you can say enough about that Wisconsin Lutheran offensive line. German Fitzgerald, Carrington Cunningham, Sam Gebhardt, Adler Peterson, and Zach Crone. And 3 of those guys are going both ways on defense as well.
Corbin's hurt on that play. Will be helped off the field by his couple of linemen here. Joel Radu, the coach with the headset on. So Corbin's his 3rd touchdown. This one from 1 yard out makes it a 27-14 with the extra point pending. One more look here. Right at the end. Sure. As the extra point is up, and this one's no good. Missed it to the left. That could be key tonight. 27-14 early in the 4th here in Oconomowoc. So we get set. Let's head to our Menards interview with John Griffiths from Menards.
Thank you so much. I've got John Griffiths, the store manager of the Germantown Menards, here with me. Now, John, can you tell us a little bit about Menards?
Menards is a family-owned and run company with the general office right here in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. We've got 300 stores throughout the Midwest, 12 stores in the Milwaukee area, including ours right here in Germantown.
And why is it important for Menards to be a part of initiatives like Thursday Night Lights?
Menards definitely understands the hard work and dedication it takes from our student athletes to achieve their goals both on the field and in the classroom, and we really appreciate all the support they get from their families, the coaching staff, their teachers, the community, and we're really proud to be a part of that support.
Well, we're glad to have you on board with us, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
And back to you.
Kara and John, thank you so much. 27 unanswered points now by Wisconsin Lutheran. They've posted a 13-point lead here early in the fourth. Oconomowoc going to get the kick. 13 play, 51 yards, 8 minutes, 9 seconds on that drive. Lay out to the 30-yard line. That's where he'll be stopped there. 27-14, Oconomowoc with the ball. Let's head down to Mike.
Hey guys, Emily's a junior at Madison, graduate from Oconomowoc, and she's here raising money for a great cause. You know, thanks for doing what you do. Can you talk a little bit about what you guys are up to?
Yes, we're an organization called Camp Kesem through the University of Wisconsin-Madison. There's also a chapter at Marquette University. It's a national organization for kids whose parents have or have had cancer, and it costs $500 to send one child to camp. And this year, Madison's sending over 200. So we're really trying to do the best we can to fundraise for that, and we're so thankful that Oconomowoc and the cast and crew of Billy Elliott was able to help us do that tonight.
You know, your parents must be really proud, right? You like going to school at Madison?
I love going to school at Madison. It's a great program.
Emily, thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.
Boys, back to you.
Mike, thank you. Big play to Christian Groulet. Down to the 31-yard line. One more look. .38-yard pitch and catch. 1st and 10, Oconomowoc. Under pressure, Nineheist trying to go over the middle. Ball's tipped, knocked around, and it's incomplete. It hit the turf. Ball, receiver, and defender all getting there at the same time. Lucas Recker almost came away with it for Wisconsin Lutheran.
This is a position that Oconomowoc has found themselves in a number of times, so they don't panic. They just keep working their offense. Groulet is quite the target. He's averaging almost 20 yards per catch over the course of this season.
He had that ball, and it flipped up, straight up, and Recker coming across the top off the defensive pinch that time by Cedric Carr, but lucky that was not intercepted. Groulet again on the Wildcat to the 30-yard line where he stood up and driven back there. Of about one, we'll set up 3rd and 9 here for the Raccoons. Well, all season, Mike and Carol have the opportunity to talk with sponsors, coaches, and all their guests down on the sideline, letting you know about the great things going on in the schools and communities we visit. Sideline reports this season brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards. 3rd and 9 from the Viking 30-yard line. Nineheist from the gun, under pressure now. Penalty marker down, will get it away, completes the pass, diving to the pylon, and out of bounds, short of the goal line, but we do have a penalty marker down. Catch was made by Max Caviani, but a marker down back near the 30-yard line. This is coming back for a hold. Referee Jack Fleming.
Number 74.
Kian Rexroth Potts, the junior left guard, the guilty party on the hold. We'll see it right here. Pocket started to collapse. You can see he had that left arm inside of the defender, kind of hooked him a little bit, hooking Adler Peterson. Taken by a timeout, taken here by Wisconsin Lutheran. 9.5 minutes to go here in the fourth. Defensive timeout here, I think, just to settle the guys down, give them a breather here, because again, those linemen up front defensively are also your offensive linemen in some cases, as well as your backers in secondary, playing both ways.
You've got those running backs trying to cover the wide receivers from Oconomowoc, and so somebody like Brian Corbins, and I know Wisconsin Lutheran fans are very happy to see him back in the game, and so James and Corbins, they've got to give them a little breather. It's going to definitely be two-down territory, they're going to go for it because you don't want to give the ball back to an option team and maybe see the rest of the fourth quarter evaporate. So,
well, as we said right from the beginning tonight, a very curious matchup here tonight between these two teams. And from the early part of the second quarter on, it's been all Wisconsin Lutheran. They were down 14-0. It looked like it was going to be a runaway here by Oconomowoc, and suddenly the Vikings have just taken control here up to this point.
well, it's not like the 2013 game,
No.
which wound up 84-82.
Oh.
I think there are people from the media who aren't back from covering that game yet. And, you know, that's one of the classic games in Wisconsin high school football history.
84-82, that was the final back in 2013 between these two schools. Three receivers here to the near side on 3rd and long. Wants to come back for the bubble screen. It's bobbled and dropped by Clayton, incomplete. Come back to that middle screen that time, back to Clayton. He's only had two receptions tonight.
Yeah, they faked the screen to the outside, and they were trying to bring him underneath. Little kind of variation of the rocket screen.
So 4th and 27 from the Viking 48-yard line.
Okay, here's that gamble they've got to decide. Do we try to put him, bury him, and keep him down there, have Clayton kick it? Or do we go for it?
Yeah, a little take advantage of their aggressiveness here. Maybe a little hitch and go or a little double move here. 4th and 27 from the 48. Nine Heiss with time, steps into it, going for the home run down the sideline. It's incomplete. Intended, looking for Goulet that time down the far sideline. Well covered, step for step by Wisconsin Lutheran. One more look. It's O.J. James running step for step with Goulet. And so Wisconsin Lutheran gets it back, leading 27-14 with 9:19 to go in the game.
And I'm sure what Wisconsin Lutheran wants more than anything is to average 4 yards per carry and make that clock run.
Stay between the numerals and move the chains. You got it, Coach.
This is where Oconowoc's got to take a chance and try to shoot a blitz and try to somehow get isolated on that ball carrier.
Bloomquist and the offense take over at their own 48. James to the 50 and got pulled back awkwardly there. Let's hope he's okay. Body twisting through there. Not much of him, 5'9", 150. Also plays some basketball, starter on the basketball team.
Yeah, and it's interesting to note that his counterpart, Brian Corbins, is also a wrestler. And during the wrestling season, he wrestles at 138. So he's bulked himself up to 160 for this football season.
Gain of 2, 2nd and 8 from midfield. Using as much time as they can. Bloomquist will get the snap. He will keep it down the left side. Bloomquist, the quarterback, into Cooney territory down to the 41 of Oconomowoc. Very close to a first down. Looks like he's going to be just stopped shy. Bring up 3rd and 1. Good play fake. Just at the last minute pulled out of James Belling.
And he gets that forward lean. You know, he gets his shoulder pads out over his body and just keeps plowing right ahead.
3rd and 1 as our game clock slides under 8 minutes to play. 3rd and 1 from the Oconomowoc 43. This time Bloomquist will work in under center. He'll wait for the back judge to begin the countdown here before he'll take the snap. He will keep it himself. Bloomquist forward progress, let's see. Very close, they will give him the first down. Bloomquist on the keep up the middle. The first down brought to you by Wisconsin Lutheran College. Bloomquist on the keeper.
Squeeze to the left of the center, got a good surge. That time by Sam Gerhard, 210-pound sophomore.
Also a two-sport athlete. He's a baseball player.
Baseball player. Wisco emphasizes with their athletes they want to see them do more than one sport.
Fresh set of downs here for the Vikings. 1st and 10 at the Oconomowoc 41. Again, Bloomquist going to wait for the countdown to take the snap. He will keep it on the pitch to James. James coming right. James breaking a tackle. James stepping out of the tackle, now cuts it back middle of the field. O.J. James inside the 20-yard line. 21-yard run that time by James.
James, the ball carrier, Whitman, stop.
Chandler Voigt finally got him down. Watch this run. Another fancy footwork replay brought to you by Northwest Surgery Center. Minimally invasive surgery for bunions, hammer toes, heel spurs, and other foot and ankle concerns.
Zach Crone got himself out to the outside, got an excellent block out to the outside for free up. Gives him that run.
They officially mark it at the 20. 21-yard pickup by James. 1st and 10 Vikings. James gets it again. James working the left side. Get it down to about the 17-yard line for a pickup of about 3.
We talked about Oconomowoc gambling. One of the things they did that time is they took their free safety and he ran right at the snap all the way to the quarterback to try to stop that play where he pulls it out and squigs to the outside.
Bloomquist has taken a hit just about every time he has given up the football. Once again, the power zone for the Vikings here, brought to you by Goodwill and the Power of Work. That clock melting away here. We're midway through the 4th quarter. Big drive here by Wisconsin Lutheran, and now time stopped here. Looks like a timeout taken by Wisconsin Lutheran on offense. This will be our break as well. 27-14, Vikings on top of the Raccoons. Back with the final 5:56 on My 24. .556 to go. The Vikings driving, facing a 2nd and 6 from the Oconomowoc 16-yard line. 27 unanswered points by the Vikings.
Well, they really responded to the challenge that was put up in front of them.
2 FBI agents investigate the strange and unexplained. Don't miss the cult classic, The X-Files, Thursdays at 7, starting October 20th here on My 24. 2nd and 6 from the 16. Vikings down to 1 timeout remaining. Hand it off. Corbin's trying to go up the middle. Not much there inside the 15-yard line. There was a fumble on the play. Oconomowoc saying they have it. Clock continues to be the enemy here for the Raccoons. They're trailing here by 13. They've got to get a stop here and get that ball back.
Wisconsin Lutheran would love to have this drive take 6 more plays. That would just, for as far as they were concerned, be the ideal way to play this out.
They face a 3rd and 4 from the Raccoon 14-yard line. And James split to the left, Corbin's to the right behind Bloomquist, the quarterback. Ran this option offense tonight near perfection. Corbin's around the left side. Corbin's with a head of steam getting to the pylon. No signal yet. Stops short.
That's the very same play he scored on earlier when he had that long run. Looks like he's going on a dive and then he just swings himself to the outside.
He stayed in bounds to get that first down, so it'll be 1st and goal at the 5-yard line. First downs again sponsored by Wisconsin Lutheran College. If you could run another 2 or 3 plays here, take another 2.5 minutes off the clock and get it into the end zone. If you're Joel Radu. Hand it off, and it's Corbin's into the end zone for his 4th score tonight. Ryan Corbin's 1 yard out, and Wisconsin Lutheran 33, Oconomowoc 14.
Did have a hand laid on him. Sam Gerhard and Adler Peterson really opened that hole right there. Zach Cron is on that side as well.
A chance to add the extra point. They missed on their last attempt. They will kick it here. Beatty missed it left on that last attempt. This one is up, and this one is through. 34 unanswered points by the Vikings since early in the 2nd quarter. They have taken control here with 4.5 minutes remaining.
Well, it's tough to get your passing game going if you're not possessing the ball, and Wisco's taken the ball right out of the hands of Oconomowoc and run that.
Good to see Corbin's back in there. He was hurt on the earlier drive. He scored his third touchdown, but came right back here, able to punch it in.
All the while still playing defense.
Oconomowoc with just 1 first down here in this second half.
Right, I mean, it just, every time you look at the field, it seems that Wisconsin Lutheran has the ball.
Goulet and Hernbrody will stand deep to receive this kick.
It's been the practice all night for Wisconsin Lutheran to just do these line drive kicks. They don't want to hit it deep. Let them set up their wall.
You see Goulet to your left, Hernbrody to the right. This time he'll kick it away. Hernbrody will take it out across the 20. 25. Gets it out across the 30-yard line. So Coons, again, Chris Garrett there to make the stop on special teams. He's been flying all over the field tonight for Wisconsin Lutheran, but the Raccoons now 4:22 to play. You're down 20. You've got 3 timeouts.
Well, we mentioned this earlier in terms of how their defense does all this running in practice. And early in the season, Coach Radu said he thought the fact that they weren't in great shape contributed to at least 2 of their losses. And these are the Energizer bunnies of the Little 10. They're just running and keeping up with everything.
From the shotgun, 1st and 10 from the 31. Nineheis on trouble, now on the scramble. And again, it's forced out by Garrett. Out across the 34-yard line. That's 6 tackles tonight for Garrett.
Now that 4-man front they've been working has been able to put pressure on Nineheis, not let him get into his rhythm that he usually has.
Just a pickup of 2 by Nineheis. We take another look. Again, the pressure put on by Zach Krohn forced him to the outside, and it was Garrett who cleaned him up. 2nd and 8. Nineheis. Toss it out to the far sideline, completes the pass to Goulet across the 45. They'll mark him out at the 47-yard line. It's a gain of 14 and a first down for the Cooney.
Yeah, they've been varying their coverages on Zach Clayton, which has freed up Goulet a little bit. Pretty good protection. Nice wings that ball right on the mark. They're going to have to use that sideline so they have enough time here as they move on.
Forced out by O.J. James. Out to the 48-yard line, 1st and 10. Nineheis looking left, now wants to set up the screen to the right. Has some running room out there. Across midfield, down the 40, 35, still on his feet inside the 30 and down to the 27-yard line. Complete to Jake Rams. Rams with a nice reception. Brought down by Zach Krohn.
You never want to count Oconomowoc out of the game with the way they can throw the ball.
24-yard pickup by Rams through the air. 1st and 10 at the 28, 3:51 to play. Gonna go for it all, going for the pylon. Ball is in the air, and the catch is made, but out of bounds. Again, looking for Goulet. Made the catch, but could not stay in bounds.
Threw that deep fade to the corner. Almost came up with the touchdown.
The defender, James, turned around that time. And we got a timeout taken here by the Vikings, stopping the clock with 3:45 to go. I think that's their 3rd and final timeout.
Yeah, right now, Coach Radu wants to have his guys get a little rest. They've been keyed up, they've been running the ball. Now those same guys have to cross over and play defense, and they're being asked to put the rush on and being asked to cover those guys deep.
They took a timeout very early in the 3rd quarter. They used one on that last touchdown drive, and now one here. So they are out of timeouts with 3:45 to play. But credit the fight here in Oconomowoc. They have not panicked here. Down 20, just doing the things they need to do. Joel Radu, the coach for Wisconsin Lutheran, there in your picture.
Probably ask him, can you make the clock go a little faster? Is there a way we can do this? You know, this Oconomowoc community has really responded to this team, and one of the things Coach McMillan wanted us to mention, that they've got tremendous community support. He wanted us to pay special tribute to Dr. Tim Schultz, their team physician, and their athletic trainer, Jason Anderson, and just, you know, the way this community rallied to build this stadium and support Raccoon athletics.
Single back in the backfield on 2nd and 10. Very nice. Gets the high snap, comes back over the middle, and it's incomplete. Going to go over the middle. Looking for Hayes again, Ryan Hayes. So the defense has done a great job. They've taken Clayton pretty much out of the equation here. He's been double covered and single covered tightly all night.
Yeah, most of the time they're playing with 5 defensive backs, 4-2-5, and they've been able to put pressure on the quarterback with just that 4-man rush.
3rd and 10 from the 28. And Rams the single back. 4 receivers, all going to be stacked now to the far side. Clayton in motion. Nice with time, going to lob it down there, looking for Clayton, leaping grab, touchdown, Oconomowoc. Clayton, just as we talked, finally got some separation there. He was the man in motion, just continued along the far numerals, makes the touchdown reception for Oconomowoc.
Yeah, it became a wheel pattern for Clayton as he just comes right through the backfield, right up the sideline, and now they've overloaded that side with 4 receivers.
Again, went over the top of O.J. James in coverage. Clayton, his 2nd touchdown tonight. The extra point is on the way, and it is good, just inside the right upright. 3.5 minutes to go, and it's a 34-21 ball game.
Now they're almost forced, I think, though, to do an onside kick. This isn't a case where you want them to have the ball and run 2 minutes off the clock. Just trying to grind it each time they get a set of downs.
Head downstairs to Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, you just talked about Wisconsin Lutheran taking Clayton out of the game before that last play. They were down 14-0. Defensive coaches got together and said, look, we're going to take him out of the game, make somebody else beat us. That worked pretty well tonight.
Certainly did, and again, this coaching staff, they've been working on that this week. They were talking about it in practice on Tuesday, and again, they trying to figure out a game plan here, and they just said, hey, we're just going to have to take him out.
Yeah, the typical defense for them is a 3-4, but by switching to that 4-2-5, it gives that extra man they can put on Clayton. And we've seen that Goulet has had a couple catches as a result of that, but overall, the plan has worked very well for Wisconsin Lutheran.
Well, we'll see if an onside kick is forthcoming here by Carson Roslip, the senior place kicker. Would appear an onside here to the far side. Roslip will top it. It'll bounce high. And getting it at the high spot was Mike Radu, the tight end. Able to get up and haul that one down at the 42-yard line. Oconomowoc has 3 timeouts to use here. Take another look here. Overload that far side.
Mike Radu used his basketball skills to go up, grab that rebound, and bring it down.
Make that car ride home a little nicer tonight, too.
Well, I'm still not ready to count Oconomowoc out. But you have to get a stop. They're going to have to probably use all their timeouts in this first set.
Clayton's 2nd touchdown tonight, a 28-yard reception. Makes it 34-21. Vikings from their own 42. Run it up the middle with Corbins. Out across the 45-yard line, and Oconomowoc will take the first of their 3 timeouts, stopping the clock with 3:28. Ryan Griswold, 9 tackles tonight out of that linebacker spot for the Raccoons.
Yeah, 5'8", 180-pound senior, and he's been fighting his way through those blocks from that offensive line from Wisco, which loves to climb to that 2nd level.
Once again, here's Mike.
Hey guys, youth football program here in Oconomowoc is in good shape. A couple of 5th graders They go home and dream about playing Friday nights here. What's your name? What position?
Jack, and I kind of switch around.
Yeah, offense, defense?
Yeah.
All of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Name, position.
Noah, and I switch around too.
So you look forward to getting older and playing under the lights here, right? Yeah. How's the 5th grade team doing?
My team's doing good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Your team's doing, you guys on the same team? There you go, boys, Oconomowoc Youth Football, a couple of 5th graders.
It's confusing. They switch them around.
They switch them around. I said, I don't want to play in the line. Only, short, ugly people play in the line.
So Oconomowoc with 2 timeouts remaining. Wisconsin Lutheran facing a 2nd and 6 from their own 46. Zach Bloomquist, who's run this option near perfectly here tonight, hands it off. Corbins again, and he gets belted to the turf. Diving over the top, Griswold underneath, and Rowan over the top to take him down. It's 10 tackles tonight for Griswold. Oconomowoc takes their 2nd timeout. 3rd and 5 upcoming here for Wisco. Well, Wisco's got one more conference game remaining. Each team with 1 conference game remaining. There's their schedule for Oconomowoc. They've got West Bend West next week. Their final regular season game. They, of course, playoff eligible, so now it's a matter of seeding. This game really going to decide that. And then for the Vikings, they've got Beaver Dam, a tough out there.
Yeah, Beaver Dam gave a very tough game to Oconomowoc.
2 overtime victories this year for Oconomowoc over Hartford and over Beaver Dam. 3rd and 5 from the 47. Lucas gives it to Corbins around the left side. Corbins down the left sideline. First down and more. Corbins is gone. Down the far sideline. Inside the 5 and gets wrestled down at the 2.
That's that same play that they've worked to perfection 3 different times. And Corbins, it looks like he's diving up the middle, then he bumps it to the outside, and he's gone.
51 yards to the 1-yard line. Finally out of bounds by Akita. Once again, the Power Zone brought to you by Goodwill and the Power of Work. Corbins with 4 touchdowns tonight, nearly had a 5th there.
Excellent performance, especially when you consider the fact he's playing both ways.
So 1st and goal from the 1 for the Vikings. I'm going to take a guess that 15 gets the carry here. Lundqvist hands it off. It'll be James. James in for his 2nd score tonight. And it's 40-21 Vikings. O.J. James.
Well, he's there congratulating those linemen. Adler Peterson, Carrington Cunningham, German Fitzgerald, Sam Gerhardt, Zach Cron. They've really done an outstanding job from the 2nd quarter on.
Corbin's at 52-yard run down to the 1-yard line on 3rd down. 4 touchdowns tonight. 71-yard touchdown run and a 51-yard run. 52-yard run as the kick is good. Lead back to 20 now with 3:09 to play here in the 4th. Oconomowoc with just 1 timeout remaining now.
Now, if things hold up, their last game of the season, and they tie for the conference title, people are going to look at Wisconsin Lutheran and say, well, geez, they have a 6-3 record. Now, remember, they'll drop to Division III. And this is a team you don't want to meet as a conference champion, come running into them in a 1st-round game.
Yeah, you look at that Division III in the area. Obviously, Catholic Memorial in this part, but you've also got Pewaukee and Plymouth hanging around too.
Right, and when Coach McMillan told us that he used the word, they're getting their kind of mojo back and they're starting to really look like Wisconsin Lutheran. He knew what he was watching on film, and I know his players did. His players weren't looking past Wisconsin Lutheran, Wisconsin Lutheran has come out here and really run the option well. And you have to give not only a tip of the hat to the offensive line, but obviously the quarterback, Mr. Bloomquist. Wonderful job calling the game, and the halfbacks have done a unbelievably tough job of running with that ball.
Goulet and Hernbrody standing deep. Here you see the four-play 58 yards, 51 yards of that by Corbins, and that's really the only mistake they've made on special teams tonight, and that was kicking that ball out of bounds.
Well, I think they'll continue to, try to see if they can put the pressure on with that four-man rush, and then they're going to be content to just try to keep those pass receivers in front of them.
Interesting that they get the ball right away. Ryan McMillan electing to accept the penalty, move him back 5 more. Takes this one away. Goulet will take, fake the reverse. Out across the 25, has a seam down the near sideline, 30, 35, 40, penalty marker down. Across midfield, Goulet, and out of bounds just across the Viking 40-yard line, but there is a penalty marker down.
That block in the back call has gone against Oconomowoc a number of times this evening.
That's the third one tonight. Our referee tonight, Jack Fleming, his crew.
Done a very good job.
Been pretty much invisible throughout the ball game tonight.
And I'm sure your coverage of basketball, you see Mr. Fleming referee basketball as well. Very fine basketball official.
Spotted the penalty near the 32-yard line.
Block in the back, 10-yard penalty, it'll be first down.
So 10 yards from the spot of the infraction. Let's see if we can catch it on the replay here. They fake the reverse. All right, maybe right there.
Yeah, 2 guys got him in the back that time.
Well, 1 timeout remaining here, down 20. Nineheist will work from the shotgun. 3 receivers to the far side. Nineheist going to go back that far side. Catch is made out near the 38-yard line. Trying to fight to get to the boundary, stop the clock, but Clayton with the catch. Just his 4th catch tonight, but he has 2 touchdowns tonight.
You can see, his hands. He really possesses the ball well as it comes in. He and Nineheist have a chemistry that's worked all year, and tonight things just didn't quite click the way they wanted to.
From the 38, 1st and 10. Nineheist again with time out of the backfield. Completes that pass. Rams across midfield, trying to fight his way down the sideline, inside the 40, still on his feet, needs a block. He gets out of bounds, short of the 20-yard line. Jake Rams has had a pretty good ball game tonight himself for Oconomowoc.
For a young man who's fighting a little bit of a knee injury, you can see the brace on that leg. He's done a remarkable job. And that time Clayton was being used strictly as a decoy. He had Rams come out of the backfield, just dump him the ball.
And our fancy footwork replay brought to you by Northwest Surgery Center. Minimally invasive surgery for bunions, hammer toes, heel spurs, and other foot and ankle concerns. It's a nice job, too, out there by O.J. James to force him back to the middle of the field. Nineheist to the back corner, airing it out, incomplete. There's a flag down again. Unsportsmanlike conduct call here against Oconomowoc. Wow. He pointed to Oconomowoc,
but it was roughing the passer.
Dead, unsportsmanlike, number 71.
Okay, well, he had pointed the other way to Oconomowoc, and it's on German Fitzgerald, the defensive tackle, the senior. That's a tough one there. That'll take it. Results in a first down to the 12-yard line.
They didn't call roughing the passer, so he might have said something after the completion of the play.
Very nice again from the shotgun. Go for the back of the end zone and back shoulder throw, and let's see what we have here. Officials haven't made any signal. Now it's a touchdown. Well, we'll have to take a look at that replay because both players were wrestling for that football. It was James who came away with the ball. We'll have to take one more look. Dual possession there. Hit the turf. Tough to tell there. It's a touchdown. Extra point on the way. And it is good. 41-28, 2:15 to play, and another onside kick upcoming here for Oconomowoc.
Well, I told you they're never going to say die.
Here's another look. Both players wrestling for the ball. It was Lathan Secord, the receiver.
Good coverage of it here from our end zone camera.
O.J. James, the defender.
Ooh, tough call.
Give the touchdown to Secord, the senior. Wrestle that one away from O.J. James.
A little bit of shoving as they were going down the field on that one as well.
So an onside kick upcoming here. Again, Oconomowoc still with one timeout remaining. There's the scoring drive, 77 yards in 4 plays. Come back the near side with the kick going out of bounds. Inside kick going out of bounds. They tried a little chicanery there. Fake going to the left. Come back here to the near side. Wisconsin Lutheran should come away with the football here.
Vikings take over at the 46-yard line.
They will get it at the spot where it went out at the 46-yard line. So Oconomowoc can only stop it one more time. Lindquist. And it off to Corbins, and Corbins driven back, and they'll take their final timeout. It's just a couple across the line of scrimmage. What a night he has had. 4 touchdowns tonight. 2 big runs, a 71-yard touchdown run and a 51-yard run here in the 4th that set up their last score.
That was that same play where he's looking to bounce it to the outside, but Oconomowoc defense responded right up there very quickly.
So each team out of timeouts with 2:09 to go. Wisconsin Lutheran knocking on the door of their 3rd straight win. Again, this series, the last 4 times now, has been split by these teams. Coming into play here, including that 2013 84-82 game.
This will be Wisconsin Lutheran's first victory out here at Oconomowoc, this new stadium.
Again, this conference realignment will, these 2 teams will not face each other in the regular season next year. With the Vikings moving over to the Woodland Conference next year. 2nd and 9 from the 45. Oconomowoc cannot stop the clock. They'll give it to Corbins up the middle, and there goes Corbins. Breaks it back to the near side. He will take it all the way to the end zone. Touchdown, Wisconsin Lutheran. That's 5 touchdowns tonight for Brian Corbins.
Pretty sure when all conference voting comes around, that Coach McMillan is going to be casting his ballot for Mr. Corbins.
What a night. Broke it up the middle and bounced it to the outside, and 5th touchdown of the night for Corbins. Now the extra point pending.
Only here for the good.
The kick is up, and it is good. Back to 20 once again, 48-28 for Oconomowoc. That was the most they have given up to an opponent this year. The previous mark was 42 in that overtime win over Hartford.
Right.
So add 5 touchdowns tonight for Corbins. He now has 17 on the year. 270 yards. So now he's up over 1,300 yards rushing on the season.
24 carries. You're back there playing safety on defense. But imagine he's a tired young man.
2 plays, 46 yards. Corbins, his 5th touchdown, this one from 45. He had a 71-yarder back in the 2nd quarter. Had a 51-yard run. The touchdown that made it 41 for Wisconsin Lutheran. So he has played an active role here tonight. Another low kick, bounce around through Glade, picked up by Hernbrody. Try and run it up to the 30-yard line. Ball came out. I heard a whistle first, so I think they're going to rule him down as they start to unpile. Ikumen down at the bottom of that pile. So Oconomowoc, no timeouts, minute 54. We've had 5 different scores here in just the last 3 minutes of game action here.
Maybe they were trying to duplicate that 84-82 game.
Clayton will come out here to the near side. Part of a 2-receiver set near side, 2 to the far side. Nine Heist will work from the gun. Nice. Steps into that, and that's bobbled and dropped out of bounds by Garrett. Looking to that far sideline. Garrett has played an outstanding game tonight. Chris Garrett at will linebacker for the Vikings.
Yeah, they've had him play as a linebacker. They put him up on the line to rush as an end in that 4-man front they've employed. As we mentioned, so many of these guys going both ways for Wisconsin Lutheran. It's kind of like old-time football.
Nine Heist again will work from the gun. Sends Hayes in motion. Going to come back near side, looking for Clayton near side. And double coverage knocks it away, incomplete.
Yeah, they've got a man right on the line of scrimmage ready to jam him, and playing deep over the top is Corbins.
Has scored 5 touchdowns, rushed for 274 yards. And you want me to cover their best receiver tonight?
I wonder if Coach Ledoux will give him some time off from running tomorrow.
3rd and 10 from the 30. And Clayton and Hayes here to the near side. And Hayes look left, now comes back right through the hands of Rams, incomplete. There was some pressure that time on Nine Heist as they're trying to set up that screen, but Got through there too quickly. Coach McMillan to the left there. Giving the play into Nineheis. So 4th down and 10 with 1:36.
Well, defensive coordinator Brad Wetzel has to be very proud of the effort that the Vikings have put in tonight on defense.
On 4th and 10, Nineheis looking to throw, comes back, makes the catch across the 40, out to the 45-yard line. That's a pickup of 15 and a first down. Goulet again with a nice catch. He's had a great night tonight offensively for Oconomowoc.
Yeah, as they've taken away, Zach Clayton, made Goulet the prime receiver.
Brought down again by Chris Garrett. Nineheis on the scramble to his right. Completes far sideline, out of bounds. That's Clayton again with the catch. Forced out by Cedric Carr.
You can see Nineheis how well he throws the ball on the run. He has not missed on many passes this evening. I can only think of 2 where they were not quite on the mark.
1:13 to go, 20-point deficit facing Oconomowoc. They have the ball now at the Viking 46-yard line. 2nd down 1. Hayes in motion to the far side. Nineheis looks left, now comes back right side. Has a receiver out there, but it's overthrown on that far sideline, incomplete. Looking for Hayes that time.
I'm sure the Raccoons don't like the idea of having a share of the conference title. But this will be one of those things. We'll have to see how they rebound from this. This might have been one of those things, reduce a little of the pressure. Okay, let's not worry about the undefeated season. Let's worry about how well we play, not just in one game, but each given play. And so sometimes there is such a thing as a good loss, even though as coaches you'll never probably say that.
3rd and 1 now from the 46. Again, trying to set up the screen, completes to Clayton. Clayton over the middle will get the first down. Will be stopped short of the 40-yard line. Clock will stop while they reset the chains. 59 seconds to go while they move the chains here. Nineheis waited as long as he possibly could to get that screen set up. And the Raccoons out of timeouts. They'll go back left side, ball knocked down. Incomplete.
Intended for Rams.
Looking for Rams that time out of the backfield. Eckerman was out there.
It's be one of those things. As you look at the game, you're going to say to yourself, geez, their offense didn't play real well. But the real key to the game is how well Wisconsin Lutheran played on offense, how they controlled the clock and the ball.
Well, go back to the 3rd quarter. 8 minutes and change in possession time for Wisconsin Lutheran in that 3rd quarter.
Right.
Tough to score when you don't have the ball.
Right, flip the game.
2nd and 10 from the 40. High snap. Very nice. Right side, nice catch. And out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. Goulet again. It's going to be about 10 or 12 catches tonight for Goulet.
Well over 100 yards on the evening.
Mark it at the 15-yard line. And we've reached the power zone, brought to you by Goodwill and the Power of Work. 1st and 10 from the Viking 15-yard line. Very nice. Gets pressure, dumps it off. The ball was tipped. Catch was made. Still on his feet and tackled in bounds. Again, Rams knocked to the turf. Heads up play there to keep him in bounds. Again, Oconomowoc does not have timeout here. Fitzgerald that put him to the turf. Now Nineheis under pressure. Gets away, coming back near side. Still on his feet inside the 10 and down to the 6-yard line. but he's still in bounds, and the clock hits 0, and Wisconsin Lutheran has gone to 5-1, and they match Oconomowoc in the conference at 5-1.
You can see how exhausted the Wisconsin Lutheran players are. They have really played hard, as has Oconomowoc.
These are the guys that have played both ways. They'll catch their breath. We will too. We'll have our player of the game and the awarding of the trophy. All that coming up in our post game right after this in Oconomowoc. Wisconsin Lutheran claims at least a share of the conference lead with one game remaining. 48-28 your final over Oconomowoc tonight in Oconomowoc. Let's head downstairs for tonight's Player of the Game award and to Mike McGivern.
We've got a tired player of the game. Brian Corbin's 270 yards rushing, 5 touchdowns, all kinds of tackles. Young man, it's U.S. Army Player of the Game. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey, anybody you want to thank? Offensive line, nice
I
job.
want to thank my line. I want to thank the whole defense, everybody, all the coaches, all the whole team, the Wisco parents, everybody. I want to thank everybody for coming out and supporting us. I appreciate it. Much love, yo.
So Sergeant Brian did a nice job.
Hey, great job. All right, outstanding job out here. Hell of an effort. Really proud of you guys. I'll tell you what. I mean, it was a fight tonight. Obviously, this definitely is well deserved. It's going to go to you. And on behalf of the United States Army, I'm very, very proud to present this award to you tonight and for your entire team. Great job, guys.
Brian Corbin's U.S. Army Player of the Game. Boys, back to you.
Brian Corbin's tonight. 5 touchdowns tonight. A 71-yarder earlier this evening. Here we go. It's the first of his 5 tonight. 270 yards on the ground. He had 3 big runs tonight, 41, 51, and 71 tonight. Here's the 71-yarder. That was back in the second quarter. That tied the game at 14 apiece. 28 unanswered tonight at one point here by the Wisconsin Lutheran Vikings. Our U.S. Army Player of the Game presentation brought to us by the United States Army, Army Strong. Let's head back downstairs for our Badger Max Trophy presentation. Once again, here's Mike McGivern.
Hey, Coach, before the game, you said, look, it's taken us a bit, but we're getting there. Pretty happy with where you guys have been the last 3 weeks. And you said, hey, as a team, we're figuring this thing out, and it's been a good week of practice. It showed, Coach. Congratulations.
Thanks. It wasn't our best week of practice, but we figured it out tonight in the second quarter. We started out slow. The kids hung in there. I'm really proud of them for that because we got down and we could have stayed down and we didn't. We dominated for 3/4 of the game, and I'm really proud of these guys.
Coach had 14-0. I was on your sidelines, and your coaching staff talked to a couple kids. Chris Garrett talked to a couple kids, and you know what? What you needed was a couple first downs, and they said that. Let's get a couple first downs. We're fine. Let's roll. No heads down. Everybody was up, and as soon as that thing started to roll, man, you put 34 and answered on them.
Yeah, we did, and the offensive line really played well. We switched up our D a little bit. We put some pressure on the quarterback. The kids gave great effort tonight. I'm really, really proud of them and our coaching staff.
Andrew with Badger Max.
Coach, outstanding game. Wow, unbelievable. Way to go. Here's the trophy.
There you go. Badger Max trophy.
Wisconsin Lutheran 5-1 in the Wisconsin Little 10, tying Oconomowoc for the conference lead with 1 game remaining. 48-28, our final tonight in Oconomowoc. We'll take a break. Final word from Ruck Stadium right after this. .34 unanswered going into the second half. Wisconsin Lutheran pulls away 48-28, the final over Oconomowoc tonight in Oconomowoc. Wisconsin Lutheran now 5-1, Oconomowoc 5-1 in conference play, each with 1 game remaining. Got a reminder, everyone tune in next week for our final game of the season. We'll bring you the Woodland Conference Championship game featuring Pewaukee against Greenfield. So make sure you tune in next Thursday night at 7 right here on My 24, the Woodland Conference Championship between Pewaukee and Greenfield. My thanks tonight to Kara, Mike McGivern, to Terry Kelly, Eric Murray, Tom Sweddle, and our entire My 24 sports team. John Weiser saying good night from Oconomowoc, Wisconsin Lutheran, 48-28 winners over Oconomowoc.
Badger Max Thursday Night Lights presented by Northwest Surgery Center on My 24 is brought to you by Badger Max Premium Sports Drinks. Drink it to the max. Northwest Surgery Center. Menards. And by Wisconsin Lutheran College. Additional support has been provided by the U.S. Army, Goodwill, Salvation Army, and Sports Radio 105.7 FM, The Fan.